Hey, what's up, everybody? Mogion Monster here, and welcome to Why the Fascination, or WTF as I like to call it. Hope everybody's having a good day. Welcome to Thursday. Yes, we are on 2 hours earlier, so it's not your eyes deceiving you. If you got the notification, awesome. So, yeah, these are our new times, guys. Tuesdays and Thursdays will be 9 Eastern, 8 Central, down the line to 6 on the other end. Yeah, it's only 6 o'clock here. It's weird. It's funny because my computer is still on Eastern time. So my phone says 6, my computer says 9. Well, that says 5:59, so I'm early, but that says 9:01, so I guess I'm on time. So what's up, guys? How's everybody doing? Mr. Lee, good to see you. Hey, Cindy. Neon Moon, welcome. Ida Bustamante, great to see you. Hey, My Eyes. Hey, B, how are you? Brian and Chewy, what's happening? I wonder if that's my, notifying that I'm online. Nope. Huh. I didn't think of that. It's the one show I didn't think of when I decided to change times. And Mark, I apologize if I stepped on your toes. I don't think you have to worry about me. Beast of the Woods. Never thought about his show. Sorry, buddy. Last thing I want to do is step on anybody's toes. Hey, Jen. But, you know what? Shit happens. Not to sound insensitive, but, it is what it is. I waited in the wings, or, I behaved, and, I needed a different time. You're listening tonight? Be right on. What was that? Moog's doing good. Hope you are too. I'm glad to hear that, B. It's good to see you. Howling Underdog Films. How's it going, Charlie? I was watching Petikoff earlier on Small Town Monsters. He's a good one. You know what I was watching? I watched Texas Channel earlier today. I saw a few of you there. It's Brunch with Bigfoot, or Brunch with Bigfoot, Michigan Rob, and Tex was there. And when they had Dave Scott come on over from SRO Radio, Spaced Out Radio, SOR. And I actually, I not that I don't enjoy it. I mean, I enjoyed listening to that show. Dave's a talker, but he talks well. He was telling about some stories and what the hell is in my hair? Something crawling around, I'm sure. Oh yeah, I did up my. I built a set for the show. Kind of looks familiar. It's funny because I am occupying from this wall to this wall is 42 inches. And I think from this behind me to the wall in front of me is probably 48 inches. And I kind of built it up. And the cool thing about the set I built, it's movable, meaning like it's attached to the wall, but it's on hinges. It's split down the middle. So it's also on hinges. So I can just fold it in half and push it out of the way. But it's hanging off the wall. I was tired of just the flag being there, and I wanted to get back to some stability. So, it works. Wagon, how are you? Catherine Lundquist, sorry. I knew a Lindquist back east. Nona Boss. So yeah, guys, normal night, except just a little earlier. If anybody wants to pop on, I will put the link in chat, and you just click on the link if you've never done it before. It's pretty easy. Just follow the directions, and if you don't want to be on camera, you don't have to be on camera. You could just, click down below. There's a stop camera, so you don't have to be on camera. All I ask is that if you do come on through StreamYard, turn off your YouTube in the background because we'll get a really nasty echo and reverb and all that fun. Well, it's not that fun. Hey, Brandy, welcome. I think it's the light, or I don't know if I can change the... Mr. Lee, if I didn't say hello, hello. I don't know if I can change the background of StreamYard because everything's too bright, and I have trouble reading all of a sudden in the past month, maybe. So you see me like squinting. Well, I see somebody said hi, Pammy, so now I got to scroll up. Hey, Ben. Hey, Pammy. I had to make sure it was the right Pammy. There's an I am Pam that shows up. But what's up, Pam? Yeah, I guess it helps if I put the link in chat. I can talk about it all I want and sit there and go, why isn't anybody showing up? Because you're a dumbass. I forgot to put the link in. Yeah, I went over and hung out with Nikki over on Hairy Man Hoodwinks and Hoaxes last night. Her sister was there. She was doing readings with the cards. I listened to her do one long reading, and then they were like, nope, 3-card reading. Because it was taking too long. So I popped on and got a reading, and it was a good reading. Sorry, guys. I was folding up a calendar. Getting it out of the way. Yeah, it was a really positive reading. When you do a reading and the first card is like, this is a gift from God. The third card is like, this is a gift from God. It's like, what? It was cool. And the second card was pretty cool too. So don't ask me what they were. Something of cups, something else, something of cups. The real Paulie T. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Obi-Wan Kenobi? Long time no see,
Obi-Wan.
Speak. How the hell are you, dude? You're on at a fucking good, reasonable time on the East Coast, you bastard. About time you started doing this. What's up, man? How the hell are you?
Well, it's time. There's too many people that don't get to see it because it's late, and there's a lot of people that want to, hang out and chat and, participate. But being so late, they couldn't do it. So hopefully now they can, especially on a Thursday night when it's 2 hours earlier. So.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. You actually catch me at a good part of the day where I'm not too stupid. Just hanging out. And it's like, you're like Eric Clapton's cousin that plays the banjo there. What's his name? Eric Blanton or whatever it was. You're living on Arizona time instead of Tulsa time. Is that what that is? No offense, Oklahoma. Don't get pissed. Folks doesn't need to lose any more subscribers because of my ass. Just cut me off right now. Well, what's good, man? How's everything? How's your dad? How's everything on the left coast?
Honestly, things are kind of screwed up with the family. My dad's, he's hanging in there. He has good days. He had bad days. It's
you said your dad. You said your dad was a police officer, right?
Originally, yeah.
He's a fighter, dude. Don't worry about him. When he stops doing the little things that you notice that. Like my dad cuts the grass and measures it with a ruler. When he stops doing that shit, I'm going to worry. Until then, he's fine.
Yeah, no, my dad's not fine. He's not healthy. He's not doing good. Like,
sorry to hear that, Russ.
He's getting by, but it's a matter of time.
Hey, dude, just have faith and believe. Everything
dude, I'm not sweating
brother.
it.
You know
no,
that.
Really,
and
I hope people don't take my lack of emotion, there'll be a time and a place for that. Now's not it,
Yeah, I'm sure we all have to face it. I lost my mom.
Don't mourn the living. you know.
And
Don't mourn the
the
living.
scars are still there, Russ. You know what I mean? It's a cross you carry for the rest of your life. It's all how you manage, the pain and everything. Because you know what,
Oh
your
yeah,
parents
no,
are a big part of your life, dude. They teach you everything
I'm
you
good
need to
with
know
it.
as an adult. It's a tough gig. There's a lot of love there. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of hate, and there's a lot of you bastard. Remember you hit me with the belt because I stole your beer, all that shit, right?
Yeah,
all
right.
all the memories come rushing back. Put a smile on your face. That's the silver lining in all this, man. Nobody can take them from you but time.
Well, one day I'll tell a story.
The memories I'm talking about.
I'm gonna tell a story one day about what's going on today, this time frame. But what we're going through. But I'll tell it after we've gone through it.
Yeah, I agree, and that's something you and your family need to deal with personally. You know what I mean? Condolences are nice and stuff like that, but you know what? I mean, when you're going to talk about it, nobody's going to do that any sooner. Not even me. I make a rat come out of the fucking wall for a piece of cheese, but I ain't going to make nobody come out of that and do nothing for nothing. So,
sure,
it is what it is.
So,
but you look good. The hair looks. Always. So,
I was like, it was about 10 minutes to come on, and my nephew's still in the shower, and I got to get in the bathroom, and I just used it to take a shower.
Dude, I got to take a shit.
I had to go in and brush my teeth and shave and do all this shit, and so I finished at like 5 to.
All the bullshit before the show starts. I'm gonna send it right now. Tidy Bowman, you ain't got a chance.
Thanks, Ben. And yeah, I'm just I'm not looking for sympathy or anything.
God.
You're coming in broken up, buddy.
I gotta go outside. This ain't gonna work. Give me 1 second.
Hear that fine, but
yeah, I hear you, man. So
I go to post the link and I forget to push control. I just put V. Miss Dill, how are you?
I missed Tuesday because I've been jackhammering at work. This is something new to me, which is very, very abusive to the body. Old 52-year-old fat guy don't like jackhammering. I can tell you that. He thinks that sucks maximum ass, but it is what it is.
Things shake when you use those things.
I have to ask you this. I was at the beach and there was a hippie dude swimming way, way out in the water, right? I'd seen him and all of a sudden he popped up and down. I see his hand, I see his head, I don't see nothing. I see his hand, I see his head, I don't see nothing. Why didn't the fucking lifeguard save him?
He was a lifeguard?
Hey, how y'all doing, fellas?
Because he was too far out, man.
He's too far out, man.
But anyway. Yeah, the cheap old humor is of no short supply here.
Hey, the simpler, the better.
Who's that, Scotty?
That's Ben.
I don't think I ever met this dude.
Great to see you, man. Hope you're doing good.
Too, man.
Let me turn up. I don't know why I'm not. Oh, there it is. My volume was too low.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know what I'm looking at. Do I have to take that down?
I don't want you to think I forgot about you.
I'm sorry. I don't know what the hell we're looking at.
Because the wind's blowing
Ben, I didn't.
Weatherman.
That wasn't my fault. I took Paulie down for a second, but I didn't. There he is.
No.
It's Ben and his shitty
I'm on
internet.
the podcast, Lee.
Why can't I?
It's 9 o'clock at night. You can't bitch. It's 1 a.m. Come on now. Stop it.
I don't know if it's my signal, his signal. Damn.
Hey, man. My internet's good. Every time I press a button to try to look at chat or look at settings. Yeah, dude. I kick myself out every time. Every time.
Mopar Bill, how are you?
Yeah, man, I'm loving this new
Arkansas
time.
Squatch. What's up? Sasquatch, excuse me. There's some new faces here tonight. That's cool. Yeah, I didn't realize when I changed the hours that Mark over at Sawdust Beast does his show at the same time.
Mark Newbill?
Yeah. They've been doing it this time forever. I forgot about Thursdays.
Yeah.
Tap the brakes, Pinocchio. You're a moderator on that show. Stop that shit.
Oh, I haven't been over there in a long time.
Yeah, I know. Dude, I pay attention. Don't worry.
Dude,
like I said, I want to clarify
there's just too much shit to go on.
We were talking, and I said something about, people giving money to channels, and I wanted it to be transparent. If people are donating to a channel because they like the content and it's of their own free will, that's fine. I'm just saying, if you advertise that you're doing something and you're asking for donations, I think transparency should be part of that. If people like what the hell you do and they give you money, God bless you, because they ain't going to give me a fucking dime. I'm going to starve. I'm going to be worse than the Ethiopian standing out there looking at a fucking buffet going, shit, I ain't got enough money to eat. No,
it's good every once in a while to get a donation. It's like, oh, right on. Somebody's appreciating it, I mention it at the end of the show, and that's about it. If you want to donate. If you don't.
What you need is like the bandana tip jar or something, right? Have a little tip jar with a bandana on it, and just have like the the goatee and shit. Have people throw money in it.
Need a swear jar, but I'd go broke.
Oh shit! I got about 15 of them full. So what happens when you work with truck drivers?
I'd just be paying myself.
Hey, at least you ain't drinking. Think about it. That money be gone already. You son of a bitch, this thing was full of quarters. Who the hell came in here and stole them? Your liver.
Yeah, right. Yeah, my liver spent a lot of money.
But anyway, I've been hanging out with a friend of mine who's a stand-up comic. And he's going to teach me how to write jokes and stuff because I'm naturally funny and I know it because I can just do it. But I can't reproduce it. And to be able to do that, so that's funny every time you do it, that's the key. That's when you know you're successful at what you do. So I'm going to work on that. I mean, I havenent figured out how to get in the other fucking Paulie T channel. So Paulie T fucking my carbon copy or whatever you want to be. He's a
doppelganger.
Yeah, whatever the hell it is. Like when, he's a clone, like when you're doing weed, only he stands up to pee. You don't want him. He's got pollen sacks, not fucking buds.
I just pushed my background out of the way.
Yeah. And, it is what it is, Russ. And the reason that I say this, right, is like with jokes and humor and all of that. The reason you find something funny is because something like that happened to you in your life. The circumstances may not be exact, but the situation could have, came in that foggy window of, yeah, it was kind of like that, but a little different, And always stupid, funny, crazy ass shit happens, and people say, you're full of it. You can't make stuff like that up. No one can think of that. You know what I mean? Your brain ain't that fucking good. I'm gonna tell you right now. It makes a lot of bad decisions. Trust me. I got 5 books full of them. Don't do this again. Shit. Go to chapter 5. I did something I did in chapter 1. You weren't supposed to do that again, dummy.
What's up, man?
Paulie? You have a friend that's a comedian?
Well, no, I'm aspiring to be one, but at 52 years old, fucking late to the game, man.
Not really, dude.
No, not really, bro.
One thing that you can go into a club at 52 years old and do a stand up.
Definitely.
But the thing there's no age restrictions there. It's
I know, Russ, but I should have done what I'm doing now 25 years ago.
Man, but you there's still time.
Of course there is. Absolutely. No doubt about it.
Don't sell yourself short.
But then again, you know what? I'm going to get thrown out of a lot of rooms because I ain't for everybody. I'm labeled the most offensive man in the world, and that label is correct.
That's what I was about to ask
you. I'm like Don Rickles. I don't fucking discriminate. I'm going to give it to everybody.
Dude, that's what I was about to ask you. You think comedy's different now with cancel culture?
If you can't laugh at yourself, you know what I mean? You can't laugh at anything. You have to get over that hurdle first, and then you make the other 10 again, 110, right?
Do you think that comedy has become different because of the cancel culture that's arisen in the past few years?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of things you can't touch. You can't touch Holocaust victims. You can't touch cancer patients. Right? If you're a white dude, definitely do not drop an N-bomb, because I'm gonna tell you what, you're gonna be kissing Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton's fucking boots for the next fucking 20 years. They're gonna crucify you like Jesus, and you ain't getting that little thing on your head full of thorns like that had a rose on it and shit. You ain't getting that.
Yeah, but those are pretty much a given.
You know.
But those are pretty much a given. You can't say
they are given.
You can't say like something's retarded or anything anymore. You know.
Why? You just did.
Well, Florida just passed. Florida just passed a bill where you can't call something gay.
Yeah, true. You're right.
What the
fuck, bro. Their skins are too thin nowadays, man.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
If you had a hot tub time machine and Russ kept his fucking underwear on and we went back in time, you know, just because I know the West people out there like free ball and they're in there with no underwear, no crackers.
Guys assuming I'm wearing
like
underwear.
Periscope up in the submarine, boom, 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 boom in the hot tub, right? So you're sitting there, right, and you're chilling, you know, and you could go back in time. If we could take some of the values we had growing up in the 70s as a kid from my generation and incorporate them with today's world, this would be like the perfect place to live. Because nobody would be offensive. You wouldn't have to wrap your kids in bubble wrap while they're riding the bike. Please don't fall and break your arm. We can't pay the fucking copay. The insurance. So get the fuck out of here, man. Really?
True story,
and it's like the more technology we get, the stupider we are.
Absolutely.
And so who are these fucking idiots that we put in there? They go
we are regressing as a species. We're regressing due to technology.
We really are. We really are. I mean, dude, I live in.
I mean, not to go off on that, you know, I don't want to label or stereotype anything, but these people suck. They fucking do. They're crooks. They're worse than the mafia. At least them guys wear nice suits and gave you sausage and fucking pepperoni and shit, right? These fucking guys, they don't give you nothing. All they do is take.
Yeah.
I want your last fucking dime. You need a coffee at Cumbies. It's $1.10. Give it up.
What's up, Patrick? Patrick Vaughn. Derek McManus in the house. What's up?
Oh, Patrick Vaughn, my favorite guy.
G'day, Mark. Tight lines.
Dude, you don't even see kids playing outside anymore, ever.
So when Papa Craig used to come on, right? We used to do like Captain's Corner because he's an old Sea Dog captain, right? Can we do Woodsman fucking minute with Patrick Vaughn? Have him out there in his camouflage, maybe some fucking mossy oak fucking hat, paint on his face.
That would be Patrick.
I'm squatching, guys. I'm squatching. Nah, Patrick's a very knowledgeable guy.
No,
just ask him, he'll tell you.
So what's up, Janky? Lockbeard, how's it going?
Mr. Beard, what's up, man? The beard of knowledge.
He was hanging out over on Nikki's channel last night for a while too.
That's cool. Nikki's got a good gig, Russ. I like her. She's cool shit.
She debunks stuff? Like
not really. She kind of points out, I think her goal is for the newbies that are new to Bigfoot in this community and interested, and she just wants to see them not go through the same bullshit that everybody else has gone through and try to point out what videos are bullshit or who to avoid.
Yeah,
you know,
if
you want real information or, you know, from honest researchers, you know, avoid these certain people or, you know,
volume sucks.
She's trying to do the right thing. And I hope it works out, but she does have fun on other times, you know, game nights and like last night, her sister came on and did some tarot readings.
I'll make sure they're done. Sorry, guys.
Did they seem like, I mean, you believe in that stuff? Y'all believe in that, like tarot stuff? I think anything's possible, but I mean, I don't know.
It's kind of like,
tell you what, the first time I ever had a psychic reading, was a couple years ago on Paranormal Portal.
Okay.
And Say comes on, and you know, I've known her from chat, and she started doing readings, and she did a reading for me, the first reading I've ever gotten from a psychic, and she was like dead on.
Really?
She knew you had 7 pimples on your ass that day because your jeans weren't fitting right. You know what I mean? She knew that. It was that detailed.
It was It was impressive. You know, I quit smoking pot for 6 months because of that reading.
Yeah.
Worst 6 months of your life.
I bet.
But I remember it.
Yeah. Dude, man, I'll tell you. You know, Stony humor is fucking so awesome too, because it's like Cheech and Chong started all this shit, right? They were like, yeah, man, let's build a van out of weed and fucking run over fucking a campfire or something. Next thing you know, every fucking county they went to, everybody looks like fucking they got fucking Chinese. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man, where's McDonald's?
What's up, Hobbs? Hey, Claude.
Not the stereotype Chinese people on McDonald's and having the munchies. I mean, I'm just making it a point. Your eyes kind of do that thing, you know, and I don't mean to be offensive, and I can't help it because it's in my fucking nature, not because I hate you.
Reed, how are you?
Bernie? You know, what the fuck am I going to do?
So, yeah. It's weird for me doing this show now, like, because it's on Thursdays now. It's 2 hours early because it's
beautiful.
It's light out.
Ruffle feathers, step on toes, dude. It's all good.
Is. What time is it in Arizona?
You do not need to conform to anybody's rules or regulations. You are you. Your show has integrity. It's a format where anybody can come on here as long as they are respectful, not combative. And if you have an opinion, you can express it. That's why it's what the fuck, or what's the fascination, as Russ likes to say it, because he wants to have the little kids understand that it's not all about the fuck you. You know. You have that guy standing there with his finger up, you know, and he's like, can't hear it? Want me to turn it up? Yeah.
It's a very clever name. It is a clever name for a show. Yeah, it is. It's very, it's clever for sure.
What's up, Isaac? Well, you know,
when I was a kid, it
just worked out that way.
Fights, right? When I was younger, I got into so many fights because of my mouth that I learned it was easier to be quick-witted and beat people up mentally than physically, because they never had to pull your hands out of your pocket. You already had them done. They were against the ropes.
Yeah,
like Muhammad Ali.
I just learned it was easier to be quick.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta be right on.
Not witted. It was my mouth to get me in trouble. I just had to run.
Me too. Still does. No. Just ask my wife. She'll tell you.
It's too bright in here. Sorry.
I think I got 2 or 3 months in the hole, man. That's hard time right there. Bread and water diet. Fat guys like hot dogs and pizza and shit, man. We don't like just bread and water, man. That ain't cutting it, man. There is not enough caloric intake there to satisfy me.
No, you might actually lose weight or something.
What? I didn't?
I don't know.
I was like, because of the whole COVID thing, when I lost my job, right? I ballooned up to like 285. I looked like the fucking Hindenburg. The only thing was I didn't explode and my fat didn't hit everybody on the ground. But, you know, so then I get COVID. I lose 30 pounds being sick. And it's like, ooh, my body's like, hey, all right, you love me again. My joints are like, all right, fatty, about time you stop fucking beating the shit out of us.
Your knees are thanking you.
And, you know, now I'm maintaining 250, which is at 5'9". You know, I'm feeling like a 6'5" guy, but hey, one can aspire.
Yeah, dude, I lost my job with COVID.
Hopefully at some point I can get myself down to 230, 225, and then my body will be comfortable at that weight. Because my doctor's like, oh, according to this chart here. I'm like, oh, fuck that chart says. Fuck you and the fucking shit you're reading. He's like, you should be 185 pounds. I'm like, dude, I'd be 185 pounds. I can hide behind a piece of paper. Stop it.
Dude,
sideways.
I lost my job for COVID. I got laid off. Dude, I got to 275. I'm 5'11".
Yeah,
so,
I went the other way, man.
Girl Scout cookies. You're watching Jerry Springer going, Jerry, right? Next thing you know, you're like, oh my God, I am a fucking hot mess. Look at my belly. It's over my fucking head. I got a double dicky do. It's like a double chin, but it's double the dip, you know?
I got a different job. I went on keto, like people were talking about right before the show started. I lost 65 pounds.
Right on.
I weigh under 220 right now.
So do I.
That's good, man. That's awesome. You know, the keto thing is kind of like Dr. Atkins, but streamlined.
Exactly.
He was like,
My
yeah,
weight.
eat tons of fucking bacon. You're not going to die.
Yeah.
Your arteries are going, fuck you, Atkins. I'll kill you if I get out this body.
You're right. But hey, I'm going to do it. You know, the only carbs I eat, you know, a beer sometimes, you know, and that's it. That's it.
No, the past year I lost weight. You know, I
lost it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. Was that lost when you lost that weight? Seriously, when you lost weight, was that subscribers? But Paulie, you're an asshole.
No, I was up to. I averaged like 2.25, 230 for the longest time.
Yeah, but you're what? 6'2", 6'3"?
6'3".
Yeah, 6'3". You're a bit Russ. You're a big guy. I mean, you know.
Yeah, but I got down to below 190, and now I'm.
Oh, dude, you look like you look like a crackhead doing that. You don't want to be that
big guy. I carry all my weight in my gut, so you know you lose weight everywhere else first. You know,
hey,
so
you ask me, can you answer that question for me honestly? When you drank and your belly stuck out past your belt line, did you ever tap your belly like Kamala? Just because inquiring minds want to know.
What's up, Moggs?
What's up, man? How are you? Sorry.
Pretty good. Hey, I'm promoting my new channel. It's called Arkansas Sasquatch.
Oh, that was you out there? Right on.
Yeah.
Who's that? Mid South?
Yeah, what's up, Paulie?
Haven't seen you in a minute. What's going on, bud?
Yeah, man. Well, I went into a treatment facility again and graduated it. I'm in a sober living house right now, trying to get back, get some things straightened out, get a job, and go from there. But yeah, I moved to Little Rock, Arkansas, and so I'm starting a new channel, Arkansas Sasquatch.
It's a rough town, man.
Yeah, it's been the same research, but different locations. I'm mainly going to be in Emerald National Park, which is on outside of Little Rock, North Little Rock, and that's where I'm going to be broadcasting from mostly. I'm still gonna have this channel. I'm gonna be alternating between channels, and so yeah, that's where I'm at.
Right on. Man.
I don't know, man. After seeing a bunch of the videos and shit, I'm scared to go in the national forest. I'm gonna tell you what. I ain't scared.
Best place to find a Squatch, man.
There's some crazy.
That's the best place to find a Squatch. That is the best place to find a Squatch. They know there's no hunting in there, and they know not many people go through there.
Oh, there's hunting here, National Forest.
Yeah, they got red-pecking salamanders in there too, but fuck, I ain't interested in none of that shit. I ain't trying to go there. I'm just saying, you know. That's a rare place, man.
You know? How'd you pick that one?
You always make me lose train of thought, Paulie. I swear,
man. It's just a train wreck waiting to happen, but he's not the train.
I mean, God, I didn't talk that much when I was tweaking, but
it's all good. I'm just the caboose. I'm the ass end of bullshit, right?
Bring it up the rear.
I hear you.
Well, you had to say that, didn't you? Yeah, that makes you feel good. That was good.
Fuck.
Sorry
anyway,
about that,
yeah, man, I graduated a 30-day 12-step program and back into a sober living.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Good for you.
That is great.
Dude, that's listen, program? You know, I'm a clown. I like to joke. What you're doing, that's really hard to do, man. It's serious.
Paulie, man, shut up for a minute.
I'm sorry. I was giving the guy a compliment, man.
No, man, I know. It's
it's all good, man. It's all good. We're used to your chatter.
No, but he was patting you on the back, man.
Yeah,
I'm saying it's tough for people to do that. I'm sorry. Next time,
yeah, man,
I'll just be a D-bag. It's fine.
I struggled from a long addiction, man. Methamphetamine for damn near 30 years, and yeah, it was hard. Last year, I was fixing to get married last year to a woman I had been dating for about 2.5 years, and she 3 days before I was going to get married, she died of a fentanyl overdose, and so that made me relapse and go downhill pretty far, and so it took me a while to get back up.
Not everybody's depth is deep. Some people have to go real far. Some people don't. Something like that is traumatizing, man. Wake your ass right the hell up. I'm not to be disrespectful. I'm just saying, I'm glad that you saw that. I like what you do. I like
right
the
now.
videos you put out. I was always on. I would always say, "What's up, man?" You know what I mean? I look forward to you doing it again. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful or a jackass. I'm happy for you.
No, man.
I have a guy, Wolfie. He's 30 years in that 12-step shit, man. And he ain't had a drink in 30 fucking years. It's like Russ, same thing. You haven't had a drink in how long? Or whatever you're doing, because that all leads to bad shit.
Almost 5 years.
I haven't had a drink in 10 years.
Good for you guys, man. I'll tell you what, I haven't had a drink in 10 minutes. I'm ready to make another one.
He's like, wait, hold on. What time is it? Fucking late.
Sorry, I gotta throw a little humor in there, guys.
Good, man.
I can't help it.
I don't condemn it. People.
You ever see Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory when the little fucking Hans or whatever his name, he goes over there and puts his hand in the chocolate river and he's drinking it, and fucking Gene Wilder's like, no. And he's like, oh, Augusta, no. That's me.
Yeah, I put a post up on Facebook today that it said it was a picture that said so the officer asked me, "You been drinking?" And I said, "Why, you buying?" And we laughed, and I need bail money.
Dude, bail money is essential. It's never mind. I got 5 on it. I got 25 on it because I need to get my ass out the clink.
Yeah, I started having problems with my liver. That's why I quit. So, and then methamphetamine did a toll on me too. It affected my liver pretty bad because I was an intravenous user, and it goes straight to your liver. So and I got problems now with
that's a tough road to come back from.
I got neuropathy in my right hand now. I got 2 fingers that are dead, and half my arm's dead from going through the vein and hitting tendons and nerves and shit.
Hold up. I got to address something real quick.
Go ahead.
WTF, Mike, I am not condemning drinkers. I just said I'm not condemning drinkers.
Most never did.
No, man.
Guys,
hell
Russ
no.
did it
I love laughing at him now.
Just like everybody does.
Okay, he put little laughing. I can't say
LOL.
Shit.
Yeah,
I
love watching drunks now. It just reminds me of the stupid shit I used to do.
No, I don't like being around it. Just
do you think the fucking Bruce Springsteen Glory Days, when you fucking hear that shit, you're like, oh, look at this fucking idiot. Glory Days.
Man, I just left Mountain Home, Arkansas, living with a drunk, and man, I couldn't stand it. It was horrible. I mean, it was horrible. I'd pick him up every other night off the floor while I was watching him crawl around and couldn't stand up.
Yeah, that's time to go.
Yeah, he drank a case of beer a night and just went on and on and on about the same old shit every night. It was disgusting.
What did Cindy just say, or Suzanne just say? Damn it, Bobby! I said propane, not cocaine.
Hank Hill in the house.
Yeah, I had my battle with cocaine too back in the late '90s, early 2000s. That was terrible. Never want to go back to any of that, man. I'm so glad. I've got a close relationship with God now, and he's working miracles in my life, and awesome. Everything is going good.
I'm glad
stay
for
positive,
you,
dude. Stay positive.
And just keep going. If you're going to meetings, just keep going.
I'm in a program now in the sober living where I go to class 4 times. It's like 9 to 2. I go to the 12-step program, and classes on getting a job and getting back on my feet. So it's really cool. And they're helping me out. I lost my Social Security card, and they're getting my Social Security card and birth certificate and everything. I'm having my license reinstated and everything. All my fines paid off, so it's going
positive.
Pretty good.
Man, that's good stuff right there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
How many times have you done this?
Basic necessities
before?
you need in life.
Within the past 2 years, man,
that's a privilege. It isn't guaranteed. You know what I mean? And we make mistakes, and God, thank God, the system allows us to pay back and do whatever we need to do so that we can get it right and keep going, man. Because you
You're
need the
right.
license
You're
to make
right.
money. You know?
You're right. That's right. Moggs, within this past 2 years, I've been really trying to clean up. Me and my fiance were clean for 2 months, and a stupid decision. We decided to go out and try it one more time before we got married. And within 6 hours, I got a phone call of her. She overdosed on Finn, and so yeah. And last year, I mean, that was the only relapse I had. I've got 11 months right now clean.
Good.
Sweet.
So, yeah. I've even discarded the marijuana. I'm not even using marijuana no more.
Dude, come on, man.
That's
That's
fine,
natural
dude.
shit. You can't get rid of that. Bob Marley would be upset at you right now.
Dude, I got a medical card for a dispensary in Arkansas, and I ditched it. I mean, I can't have nothing in my system. Because you know, they may say marijuana is a gateway, and I don't believe that. But,
nah, that's bullshit.
You know, I just right now I can't deal with it.
Try,
you know,
try living a sober life.
That's right.
Know?
That's right.
Completely sober.
Absolutely.
I can't say I've been sober. I could say I haven't drank, but
yeah,
that doesn't mean I've been sober.
I can read his eyes like a fucking roadmap and get to Tucson. What the fuck's your point?
Yeah, man. Maybe down the road, you know, like I said, I've got a prescription. I've got a medical card for marijuana.
Don't even think that way. Maybe down the road, because maybe down the road you'll do meth again. You know, just you got to think in a way if you don't do that shit anymore.
You're right. But you know, I've never graduated to meth from marijuana, but I do use it for pain methods. I mean, back in 2017, I had a major car wreck. I had my spleen, part of my stomach, part of my large intestine removed. I broke every rib in my rib cage. I cracked my collarbone, dislocated my shoulder blade, dislocated my right foot.
You got fucked up.
And
Dude,
I was fucked pretty bad.
Hip bone connected to the broken collarbone to all my ribs, bone.
And I don't use prescription drugs. I'm against that because those drugs do lead me to meth. Because any kind of Lortab, Percocet, any of that gives the same effect that meth does, and I take them long enough, you know, it fucks me up. So,
can you picture 4K Ben sitting by the fire smoking opium when they found it, going, "Ooh,
I never done opium,
shit."
Hey, Mitchell.
What's your channel? I think I smoked opium once.
Me too.
Ben, what's up?
I was like 14 in the woods.
What's your channel's name?
My channel's Mid-South Sasquatch. I got a new channel out now. It's called Arkansas Sasquatch. There's no content on it yet, but it will soon. I mean,
that's all right.
Soon.
I'm gonna sub mid when we're done with the show. I'll sub, dude. Absolutely. I appreciate you and the content you put out there, just like Russ and everybody that does it real and straight. You know what I mean? Not trying to be.
Yeah, I got like 650 videos on this channel.
For a whiny guy there.
He's wanted by 650. Jesus Christ!
I got like fucking rest of it.
You got a mute channel? Like got a mute button?
No, I'm kidding. I love Joe. He's a good shit too.
You had any?
Have a lot of fun. Have a lot of fun in this community. It's good people, good shows.
Yeah, I'm my I got some Facebook groups and I've got a Facebook group called Arkansas Bigfoot Society, and I'm getting like 10 requests a day for membership in that group. So I'm up to like 755 members right now, and
sweet.
I got some other groups on Facebook that's got 2,000 members, 1,000 members, and I got a group called Signs of the Sasquatch. It's a structure group that posts nothing but Bigfoot structures and content, and it's got over 2,000 members in it. So, you know, all them groups are going strong. So that's why I decided to make, since I'm living in Arkansas and still in the Mid-South, but in Central Arkansas, I decided to start an Arkansas channel.
Hey, man, can I make an observation?
Go ahead.
I'm glad you fired your fucking barber, dude. I'm going to tell you what.
Dude, it's a new haircut.
Way better.
Real quick, Stevie B says, I had a W amputation and was off pain meds after the third day. Didn't want to take a chance of getting hooked.
I'm 51 years old, and my hair is gone.
The government puts it out there, opiate epidemic. They're the fucking ones who fucking took money from these people to let it happen. And then they're going to tell you what's good and not good for you.
Speaking of, I watched a film today called, shit, I can't remember the name of it, but it was about the OxyContin prescription that came out, and the whole history, how it started, how the
Purdue,
the people put it out. Yeah, Purdue put it out there to the doctors, and how they pushed the doctors to get this pill that it was supposed to be a miracle drug, non-addictive.
Well, the problem 1%. Listen, the problem was with Purdue and OxyContin was that they lied. When they manufactured it, they made it with a time release.
Yeah, time release, but it was a time release,
which was a good thing.
So doing that, they got the FDA to allow them to put on their labels that it was less addictive.
Yeah, that's right.
It wasn't.
That's right.
But people got around the coding part.
People went right through that coding. They snorted that right up.
Yeah.
Oh, wet a paper towel.
They learned.
Get the razor blade, chop, chop, chop.
They got through that.
Shut them down. Open up shop.
They learned how to. They learned how to break it down.
God. Two things I'll never do: intravenous drugs and snort pills. That's not what they're made for. They're made to be ingested, not snorted. Cocaine was made to be snorted. Other things were made to be snorted. Pills are not one.
I watch kids snort Ritalin.
Oh yeah, man! I've seen people snort Tylenol, man.
Other shit is.
Ozzy did ants. You ain't one up in him.
You go into prison, you go into jail or prison system, man, and you see people snorting all kinds of shit.
Hey, here's a better idea. Let's snort them.
I've seen people get high on. Some people get high on farts.
Farts? Get out of here.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious.
Dude, those ain't pushing beans.
There's a certain people that will ingest farts by I mean, it's serious. You could Google it, man. I mean, it's a trip.
So are they full of shit if they do that? I'm just curious.
I don't know. I don't want to know.
I'm like the National Enquirer here. Inquiring minds just know.
I don't want to know, but it's an actual weird shit that they do, man. It's weird.
There are some weird.
I've seen it on the internet, and it was a trip. There's a guy sitting out in Central Park in New York.
I know I read that.
There's a guy out in Central Park with a sign that said "fart sniffer," and he was sitting on the ground, and people were just walking up and farting. He was sticking his nose right in the crack of their ass, and taking a big old whiff.
He was a fart smeller.
Does he guess their weight too?
No, I don't know. But yeah, he was getting some big old mamas coming up to him and planting their cheeks in his face and ripping one out.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about it.
I guess he's never had Javier's refied second day taco shit, right? Guy blows that fart out of his ass. That guy's gonna be in the fucking ICU.
It's like that joke on Training Day.
Patrick's having shoulder surgery in a few weeks, and he's allergic to opioids. So
Patrick's allergic to a lot of things. No, he did go in depth about that, and you know what? That's the thing. Some people don't. It's like, for me, if I eat a Vicodin, it upsets my stomach terribly. Whereas if I eat a perk, that doesn't happen to me. So, I know this from an extensive history of back pain, and my back's fucked up. I can sneeze and it goes out, and I can just fart and it comes back in, and somebody's sniffing my fart, and I feel bad for them, but my back feels great.
People try to get high on anything, dude. Huffing isn't new.
It's like when
remember that show that was on HBO? What was it?
It's like with methamphetamine, man. Back in the when the government gave our troops methamphetamine to keep them up longer, to withstand pain and everything. The government back in the early 90s discontinued the production of P2P, which was one of the main ingredients in crystal methamphetamine. So people started finding new ways of making it, and it went from anhydrous ammonia to the Sudafed tablets to red phosphorus that was on matched heads, and then they created this ice that you bury in the ground, and it grows on the side of the igloo and on mop strings.
They
and it's a fungus.
that in Agent Orange,
It's a
though.
fungus. It's not really a drug at all. It's a fungus that grows on these mop strings. It's only 5 main ingredients that you can get from fucking Walmart. And you put it in an igloo, put it in the ground, 30 days,
Let's have a party.
you harvest
You
it.
know how to make this shit.
Well, anyway,
nor does anybody else here.
This looks like a book I seen in fucking Walden Books, Meth Labs for Dummies.
The ice epidemic right now. The ice epidemic right now is nationwide, and it's hitting the cities really, and kids are getting addicted to it because it's 5 times stronger than methamphetamine, and it gets you a lot higher. You could smoke it.
You're going to have twice as many ODs.
Yeah.
You can, man. You can't really OD on it.
Fentanyl's the issue right here, right? I think for me, personally, where I live,
it's a
because
fungus.
they're getting that stuff, and they're making fake pills, and they're selling them on the street, and people are dying, and you need Narcan, and you know, it's a fucked up situation. I had a friend of mine who's a recreational user, and he was with a buddy of mine who's a fucking wasteoid.
What's a recreational user? They don't have them no more.
Perk, and you know, it was a fentanyl pill, and the fucking kid had eyes rolling back in his head like a slot machine, fucking, you know. And next thing you know, the paramedics come in. Good thing a buddy of mine was there. He happened to deliver cigarettes, and they were both fucked up. And he's like, he's not a junkie. Save his ass. And they put the Narcan in him and saved him. The other guy, he's like a Sherman tank. You could hit him with a fucking nuclear warhead. He ain't fucking dying.
I thought that
Bruce
too,
Willis
but
made
that don't
movies
work.
about him. Die Hard. He ain't gonna fucking die.
Ben, if you have something to say, jump in at any time.
Yeah, man. Please.
Have you seen a Sasquatch, man? Mid-South?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, my first encounter was when I was 12 down in Louisiana.
Really? Where at?
I was actually
Louisiana.
Down in Narco, Louisiana.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to Narco.
Really? I was born in New Orleans, raised in Narco up to the age of 21. I live right next to the Bonnie Carey Spillway.
Okay. You know where Vacherie is?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where I'm from. Yeah.
Cool.
That's where I'm from. What did you see, man? Yeah.
Cool. My mom's from Laplace. She was born and raised in Laplace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's real close.
My dad's from Narco. He was born and raised in Narco.
Okay, cool. So, what did you see, man?
My first encounter, I was actually running from my dad because he's going to beat my ass for skipping school.
Yeah.
And
I was up to no good.
Me and 2 friends went out to the Bonnie Carey Spillway, and we went all the way out to the lake, and there was a spot where we all went, smoked, drank, partied, and everything. Yeah. Well, we went a little like that. We went a little further into the swamp. We were sitting there smoking cigarettes and bullshitting, and it was so quick. It was so fast. This thing it came out of a bunch of sawgrass that was on the backside of us. Mm-hmm. It stepped out. It must have been standing there for a while because all we heard was a grunt, and we turned and looked, and it stepped out from the sawgrass. It eyed us all real good. It blew out like it sounded like a horse blow out of his mouth and backed up and disappeared. It was like maybe 3-4 seconds, but my friends took off, but I stayed still and just watched it as it went off into the swamp.
What did it look like?
Well, my mom, she grew up around these things. Her dad raised hogs.
In Louisiana?
Yeah.
Okay.
They lived on the outskirts of Laplace in Gramercy.
Yeah, that's right across the road from where I grew up.
Yeah, okay. So they lived way back in the swamps, and my grandpa, he would lose hogs after a while. They would come over and snatch the hogs out of the pen, and then he started, after finding out what was going on, he would take a hog all the way out in the swamp and tie it up once a month, and it stopped them from coming on the property. But as I got older, I could remember I can remember all the adults rushing the kids inside, and they all running outside with shotguns and stuff, and hollering booger, booger, booger. And I was always told as a kid, don't go in the swamps because the buggers will take you. And
I never heard booger down here ever.
Really? Well, I mean, my
the rougarou, you know.
That's New Orleans. New Orleans has that term a lot.
We got it. We got it in Vacherie. But
in Vacherie,
y'all were more close to Baton Rouge, and we were more close to New Orleans because they didn't have that bridge. They just had a ferry.
I remember the ferry. The ferry. You remember when it flipped over?
No, I don't.
Back in the 70s, one of the ferries ran into a barge and flipped over. I had some cousins that was on that bridge, and the whole family was killed.
Yeah,
my aunt and uncle and 3 cousins were killed and drowned in the Mississippi River. And it was like 1974, 75 when that happened. And then they built the Destrehan Bridge that goes over the Mississippi River from Destrehan to Luling.
Yeah.
Man, this swamp ape that came out, man, I got, like I said, I was 12 years old. I can remember
about your mama.
The hair on it was all matted and tangled, and it's not like a lot of these people say that the damn thing groomed itself or something, but this thing was, I mean, it was nasty. It was covered in mud and slime, and
I wasn't laughing at you, dude. Sorry.
Like I was 12, so I say it was about 8 feet tall, but it could have been bigger. It was like a brief instance, but I've had 2 other encounters. One was outside of Memphis, Tennessee, in Collierville.
Okay.
And it was me and a researcher. I'll mention his name. He's a friend of mine, Jim Dawson. I don't know if any of y'all know Jim Dawson. He was one of the first researchers that was on Finding Bigfoot with Biscardi and them.
Okay.
And this is about the time when Biscardi was offering $10 million for the capture of a Bigfoot or the killing of a Bigfoot. I don't know if any of y'all remember that. It's been about 7-8 years ago. Well, Biscardi sent him to me. At that time, I had a channel called Memphis Sasquatch.
Okay.
And we went to a location.
Chad, I gave these to you, right?
We went to a location. I've actually got a video on it, and it was analyzed by the Bigfoot anthropologist. It's called shit. Okay. It's called lost my train of thought.
Just talking about the Bigfoot you saw in Tennessee.
It's called Close Encounter with a Whoop. Okay. And we encountered 3 squatch that day. One was down where I was in, like where there was a pond that was all evaporated. It was just marsh, and I was standing there. I was watching it. It was stooped down behind some weeds, and then there was 2 more standing up on a hill. He was looking at the 2 that was standing on the hill. I was looking at this one, and when I turned back and looked, the damn thing was walking towards me, bluff charging me. And I turned around and started walking away from it, and you can hear it going whoop, 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 whoop. It's on video, and you can hear it as clear as day. But I got up to where he was. He turned around and started walking away. He was like, that damn thing is right there. And I turned around and looked, and there was 2 more standing there. I mean, and they were a good 8 feet tall. They were standing, one was standing behind a tree and one was standing in the brush. And I could just see the side of them, the one that was like tree peeking out from the tree, and the other one was standing in some brush. I couldn't really see it, but I knew it was there. And we started slowly backing out because they were getting aggressive. They were acting aggressive by whooping, and one was like moving from side to side like this.
Yeah.
And so we left, and I put the video out on YouTube. The Bigfoot anthropologist, he did a breakdown of the video, and he's got voice prints on there. On there, you can check it out. It's on YouTube.
Okay.
But
who is this? Biscardi?
No, Bigfoot anthropologist.
Okay, that's the name of the.
So when they got aggressive, right? Did flash from the heavens come and you just hauled ass the hell out of there?
Who's got the train?
No, dude.
No, I would be. I'd be scared shit. I'd have dirty quack.
Oh, that's me, Mods.
I'd be running faster than I could. Like
yeah,
I was chasing
there's a steel
truck.
plant across the street, and there's a train backing in right there.
That's some crazy ass shit.
So
yeah.
Well,
I've got another video that's on YouTube, and it's really, you would have to play it at 0.25 playback speed to really see what's there.
So quarter real time.
It's in Shelby Meeman Forest out in Shelby County, Tennessee. We don't know what these are. I don't think they were Sasquatch. I think they were some sort of what some people call the others. But I've got them on camera. If you go to my library, I've got a video on YouTube. You go to my library at Mid-South Sasquatch, you go into my library of videos, and it's called Must Watch at 0.25 speed. Okay. And you can see it's the weirdest thing I have ever seen in my life. Tex and them have seen it on their show. It's a little being. I mean, it's weird looking. It's got its eyes are blinking and its mouth is moving, and there's like these smoke rings coming out of its mouth, blowing on these two little creatures that's sitting on a branch. It's totally weird. I don't know what they are. I can guess to say that maybe they're some sort of entity or something. And the camera, I didn't see them with my eyes, but I had another guy that was with me. We heard a loud branch break and then some weird noises. And I pointed the camera over that direction for like 4 or 5 seconds. It's a 4 or 5 second in that clip. But when I moved the camera back towards where I was facing, and I even say on the video, I say, I'm watching these two subjects that are standing in front of trees. And you can see on the video, there's something brown, very large, and it steps out from the tree and picks something up off the ground and then steps back in front of the tree. It's a little pixelated, but you can definitely tell there's something there. Not sure what it is. I've slowed it down. I've zoomed the picture in, and you can make out a face. There are two faces there. And further back in front of a tree at the beginning of the video, this thing steps from tree to tree. You can see it's real quick. It steps one step over and goes to another tree. That's pretty cool. But check that out if you want to.
All right, I will.
All right, I got to say hi to some people. Crow Creek, what's happening? Good to see you, Tony. Raptor.
What's up, Tony?
I missed a bunch. Ben T, what's happening?
Benji, we got a fucking star in the house.
Ben T.
Dog. Just kidding.
What's up, Rex?
Hey, so listen, let me ask you a serious question. If you're standing with a bunch of mimes, right, and they start flipping out and cause a big disruption, is that a quiet riot?
Probably. Silent scream.
Yeah.
Hang your head.
Hey, I'll be right back, fellas.
All right, man.
All right, Ben.
Quiet riot.
Yeah. So, anyway, it's crazy that all this stuff happens, right? You're out in the woods, and if you know nothing about nothing, right? Which I do. I know squat about squat, and I couldn't tell you a Sasquatch from a fucking frogman, but the frogman probably doesn't have hair. But anyway, there's so many cryptids out there, right? The human eye doesn't catch all this stuff. Like I was watching.
That's right.
Strangeland sent me a video, right? And there was like these blue fucking crazy ass things in the bush, right? So he walks over to where they are, and he's got like a blue crazy ass thing in the sleeve of his sweatshirt. I'm like, how the hell do you get in your shirt? It's pretty wild.
You ever seen Scott Carpenter's video of the cloaked Sasquatch following him?
No.
Yeah, he caught that on the back cam, no?
Yeah, on a back cam.
Because he knew that they were watching the front one, so he said, I just put this thing there, and they didn't know what the hell it was, and that's how he caught a bunch of them running across the trail behind him and stuff.
Yeah,
it's pretty interesting. That's a good video.
It was moving trees and moving branches out of the way. You could see the branches being moved out of the way. That's
they're
pretty
moving
cool.
to leave. Like,
I might have seen that a long time ago.
Yeah, it's an old video.
Yeah. Jay Fritz, how's it going, man? So you're sitting there with your friend and you're watching this show.
What's your friend's name?
I was talking
to
Is she single?
No, it's funny because she's freaking out and she said, well, what's a Sasquatch? Welcome to the show, hon.
You seen
once
that video?
You're awakened from all this, Russ, let me ask this to the panel there. Once you're awakened to all this, all those things that you put off as like, it's the woods making noise and stuff, right? Once you're in the know and you realize, now you start thinking back revisionist history. Holy shit, these people, all the times that you were there and all this stuff happened before you realized what you thought happened. Now you have an understanding of that, right?
Right.
Does that creep you the fuck out or what, man? I'd be like,
yeah, it just makes me think
I'm
about
not going
what
back
might have
in
been,
I have to, at times, I have to step back and get back into just regular living life, because sometimes it freaks me out at some of the stuff I've seen, some of the stuff I've been around, a lot of things that I've caught on camera that I didn't see with my eyes, and then knowing that these things exist, that they're really there, and I know the government knows about it. They've got to, they've got to know
that. Man, they're in it ass deep.
It's not a question.
So,
Barb Sandy, I do like you guys.
Yeah, it freaks me out. Some of these areas I go to, I mean, there was an area I went to in Memphis that had a lot of paranormal activity that I caught on tape. I did a panorama shot of this area, and I've got this on my YouTube channel too. It has a friend of mine who died 5 years prior to taking this picture, and he's in the picture. He's standing right there. He's in the same clothes he died in. His eyes are black as coals, and he's got these entities surrounding him in the picture. I made a screenshot video of it, and I put it on YouTube. It's called phenomena. It's called something phenomena, interdimensional phenomena, or something like that. I mean, I made it a few years ago, but that picture still has me freaked out because this friend of mine I was really close to this guy. He had been a friend of mine for like 20 years. He died of a heart attack. He had some problems. He got in an ambulance. He was on his way to the hospital, and he died on the way to the hospital. He has never been out to any of my sites. He's never been with me on any of my trips. He didn't really believe in the subject, but he's there. I mean, he's on camera. I mean, I didn't see him when I was out there, but when I got home and was reviewing the footage, it's there. I mean, it's not like CGI or any of that shit. It's totally weird. And everybody I've showed the picture to say, God damn, that's Nelson. And I'm like, that's him. His face is a little distorted, but you can see it clearly. It's clear. It's not blurry.
Some strange shit.
It's really freaking weird. So that makes me think he's either trapped in hell or he's trapped in between heaven and hell, I don't know.
What kind of person was he in life? You knew him for 20 years.
He was a fucking prick, but he was a friend.
Great
he was a
Black
friend.
Sabbath tune
There
too
you
with
go.
Ronnie James, Heaven and Hell.
Yeah.
So would it
he
be
was
safe
a
to
real
say
dick,
that none of us know that humanity and humans
nobody
as
liked
us,
him. I mean,
he
was an asshole to everybody, but
what becomes, you know, do you go to another dimension? Does your soul travel to another part of life? You know what I mean? It's kind of like the line. Don't ask questions that you don't need to know, because you only know what you need to know, right? So if this is the lava stage of us, like if we were a frog or something like that, right? We're not a polywog or whatever the fuck we are at this point.
Tadpole.
Do we graduate to the next step where we go to another dimension and we could be like Mid's friend, and if you have unfinished business here, do you have the ability to go from dimension to dimension, or time, space, travel, whatever the fuck? Never mind the hot tub and us being naked. That shit's out of the equation right now. But
I've thought about that. I've dwelled in that, that area of the research. I've dwelled in that area of the research, but I've never had an answer to it. And
we're not going to get it, Mid. I'm just saying. Is it in the realm of possibility? Is all I'm saying.
Personally, I believe that, and I want to say I know that there is something after this. There is shit moves. You might not remember it, past lives or whatever, but there is something after this. There's a life after life.
Yeah, like I said,
I agree.
My car accident, I flatlined twice on the way to the hospital.
Oof.
And during one of those times, I did see a bright light. It was like everything was white. And I can't remember any voices or anything, but I had a surgery dream. When I was in surgery, I had a dream that I was standing behind my medical chart, and I was viewing my body on a gurney.
It wasn't a dream, dude.
I heard the doctor said, pronounce me dead at such and such time. And when I was looking through my chart, I was seeing my name and everything backwards on the chart. And I started praying our Father. I started praying real hard. And all the doctors and everything was laughing and said, well, why is he praying? Why is he praying? And when I came out of surgery, after they stapled my stomach up and was putting me in my room, I woke up right after surgery, and all I could feel was white hot pain. And the doctors and everything were just like astonished that I woke up that soon. And they handed me this clicker and they said, here, press the button until you don't feel no more pain. And I remember clicking it and then passing out.
Well, it was either near death or an outer body experience, one or the other. I think they might even be one and the same.
Yeah. Well, they told me the reason why I woke up after surgery was because I was a methamphetamine user, and the amount of sedatives that they put me to sleep wasn't enough. And also, when I was under, I could hear them working on me. I could hear the organs moving, sloshing around like just jelly, and I remember all that. It's weird, but
it sounded like a wet fart.
Come on,
sorry, I had to. I'm a juvenile.
Hey, Mid-South, I got a couple questions, man.
Go ahead.
So, first of all, I want to know if the Sasquatch you saw in Tennessee looked like the one in Louisiana.
No, it didn't.
What was the difference?
It sure didn't. The difference was the hair wasn't as matted and nasty and everything. It was really long, but it had leaves and different foliage all tangled in it, but it wasn't as dirty, and it didn't have no smell. There was no smell whatsoever.
Okay.
So that's the difference of it.
Okay. So, I mean, have you had paranormal experiences like for as long as you can remember?
Yeah, I have.
Do you believe in the hitchhiker effect? Have you heard of that?
I don't know. I have not heard of that.
So, It's like say, so when you see one thing, it opens you up to where other things that are related in some kind of way
I believe
can
that.
kind of attach themselves to.
Yeah,
Does
I
that
believe
sound
that.
like something that's real?
Yeah, I believe in that. I believe in that. Yeah,
Right.
I was
I heard
in
like
Memphis,
once you
Tennessee.
see a Bigfoot or something like that.
In Memphis, Tennessee, I had a paranormal experience with a poltergeist in a apartment complex, and it was twice. I had the same experience twice, where I woke up and my pillow was forced down over my face, and I couldn't get it off. And it took a long time to get it off. And when I got it off, there was nobody in the room. I was locked in from the inside. It was bolt locked door. And I had that same experience twice. Of course, I told a lot of people and was called nuts and I was crazy and all that.
Hey, Ben, in Texas, that hitchhiker
But
effect
I
is.
found out
Paso,
that
don't pick him the fuck up.
this guy, I found out that the apartment I was in, that this guy was killed in that apartment to a break-in robbery.
Oof.
Yeah.
So that's
brutal.
So, and do you think that was related?
Related to what?
To your experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why?
Well, the dude was obviously brutally killed in his apartment. I didn't know how he was killed, but I thought maybe, he got smothered or something, maybe that was the case. I don't know. I didn't really research too far into it.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. So you don't know. You're just kind of connecting dots that make
sense. I'm just sort of connecting dots, guesstimating, that sort of thing. And back then, that was before I really dove into my research. I was into the bar scene there. I was a bouncer, bar back. I didn't do too much investigation that time of life. I was also going through an addiction, and so I didn't research it far enough.
Fair enough.
Hey Russ, can I broach some revisionist history?
I hate these cigarettes.
What's up?
Can I broach some revisionist history?
Go for it.
So today I met a friend of mine after work, and I'm probably going to move in with him. He just bought a brand new truck. He's got a GMC Sierra. This thing's like, it tickles your ball bag while you're driving. I mean, it's fucking thing sweet, right? So he takes me out on the highway. And he's like, hey, check this shit out. So he hits a button, right? It starts using GPS. A guy in front of him not doing 65, the truck goes into the next lane, moves around him, and he's not even fucking hitting the gas or anything. He's playing fucking tiddlywinks with his feet, and the fucking truck's driving itself.
Yeah, when the rental truck I took back, a Penske truck when I came back from Florida, it had cruise control, so I would set the cruise control, but if it had that proximity.
Yes, that one button. Yep, exactly.
Alarm where if I came up on a rig that's, I'm doing 75, he's doing 73, it slows me down to his speed. It doesn't change lanes for me, but
the speed limit, it makes sure it's safe to pass. It drives you around them, and it keeps you
this
going.
This one didn't
and
drive
does
me
what
around.
It does. So the reason I bring this point up is because before we were talking about this with Pat, and he said there was no way possible that could happen. I can honestly tell you, Pat, not to be argumentative, combative, or any of that. I sat in a truck that drove its fucking self, and it passed the car going too slow. So that shit being 100 years away, I think you were a little off the mark.
Right. So do you understand the terminology semi-autonomous? Do you know what that means?
Autonomous means it does.
No, semi-autonomous means it's
dude. I'm not trying to get a fucking vocabulary lesson here. I'm just saying.
Really?
You said this shit was 100 years away, and
vocabulary
a truck
doesn't
could never
matter
back
in the
itself
English
into a loading dock, and I think you're inaccurate in making that statement. That's all. I'm putting it out there that I drove in a vehicle that proved to me it could happen. That's all.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to get into autonomism or Autobots and Decepticons. I don't give a fucking rat's posterior. I'm just trying to tell you that I think you were a little off the mark. That's all.
How off the mark was I? Do you
100 years? Fucking Rip Van Winkle. You'd have a beard that you could trip over every time you fucking took a step. But anyway.
So, I'm sorry. I asked a question and I did not get an answer. Do you understand what semi?
Yeah, autonomous means. Yes, it means it's auto.
It's
automatic. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to input it. You don't have to pat its nutsack. You don't have to do nothing. It does it all by itself.
Semi-autonomous.
So that means it needs to have human interaction because it's semi.
It's partial.
Okay, partial. You can use whatever way you want.
I drive a car that also has autonomous features because all modern vehicles have some kind of autonomy to them.
Yeah, it's usually a parking feature, or you know,
no, it could be a collision feature, just like
I drive a fucking car autographed by Fred Flintstone. What's your point?
Sure. and guess what? There's a little button. You can turn that off if you don't like it.
I understand that, Pat. I'm just saying that the way you projected your argument, I think, was, a little short-sighted. That's all, dude. Nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah.
I thought it was fucking amazing that the truck could do that. I mean, if it could talk dirty to me, I'd buy one.
It is, but you don't understand my greater point. Is that there are not going to be semi trucks driving around on interstates and highways.
They already do.
They don't have fucking people in them, dude. That's not a thing. And it ain't fucking happening anytime soon.
I will respectfully agree to disagree with you. And if that's your stance and your point, then I get it, man. It's fine. I'm just saying that when you made the statement that shit was 100 years away, that's all I was trying to bring to light. I think that's
you don't even understand what I'm talking about.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Which I think I've pretty much proved just now. Like it's a full autonomy of fucking giant semis on our interstates and highways ain't coming anytime soon, bro.
Okay.
So when I say 100 years, it might as well be 50.
I think you're wrong, but you're entitled to your point of view, and I respectfully agree to disagree. That's fine.
Prove me otherwise. Prove it otherwise.
My fucking overall
I kind of tend to disagree myself.
Closer than you think. That's it. I mean, I
believe that's true.
It's called reality.
And I don't think you fucking live in it half the time, but that's my opinion. So you can agree to disagree with that. I'm just saying, I just think it's closer than you think it is. I'm just trying to bring that point to you. That's all. This doesn't need to be long, drag out Mike Tyson fight, rope it up, whatever the fuck you want to call it, man. I'm just saying.
Back it up with facts. I'm all ears, Paulie. If not, I know what reality is. There are no autonomous trucks, semi trucks driving around with fucking no people.
They're testing them right now. They're solo trucks. They're skinnier than a normal truck. I've seen it.
Test them where?
Drive.
How do they test them?
Yeah, and Pat, the technology may not be ready to put on the road, but
there's companies here in Arizona that are building them.
Right.
Yes, I mean,
and where do they test them? I'm just asking you a question. How do they?
Yeah, I've seen that on the news. I've seen that it's
how do they test
like autopilot.
How do they test them?
That's all.
How do they test them?
How the fuck should we know, dude? Why are you being so argumentative?
I'm not.
Mr. Encyclopedia here.
Okay, they test them on closed roads. They test
Ben, not trying to be one now. I'm trying to be factual.
I'm not being
argumentative. Multi-layered.
But you're asking us to answer the question that we don't know to. So if you already have the answer, then just give us the answer.
Yeah,
in the desert somewhere.
I can't spell autonomous. No, I know what the fuck it means.
I'm trying. I'm sorry.
But,
I'm
you know
trying
what I mean?
to show
in reality, like you live in, I just don't think that your time window is accurate. That's all.
I get what you're saying, Paulie, and I agree with it. I think that this technology is right around the corner, and you will see not autonomous vehicles.
Russ, it's amazing when you sit there and watch the truck fucking put the blinker on, move into the next lane, pass a fucking guy because he's going too slow. And it puts you right back on your path, and you're going and you don't do a fucking thing. You sit there. It's like the Jetsons.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I believe that will be
the technology is amazing.
Next 20 years.
The technology is amazing.
Maybe less.
Can I ask? It's less, I think. I mean, I think there's a.
Can I ask one question?
Sure.
How long until passenger jet airliners, make flights with no pilots in the seats? How long until that happens?
All the pilot does now is take off and land.
It's
and
autopilot.
takeoff is
A lot of the times in the sky, they get to altitude, airspeed, they hit the fucking
automatic
button. They're having
pilot.
cocktails. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, it's
Right.
not.
So
30 years.
I'm asking the fair question.
30 years, maybe.
I would honestly say
how long
that would have to be
there
auto.
are no pilots sitting in that seat?
30
it would
years,
have to be
maybe.
auto, whatever that other word you used is, because I think the pilot needs to be there with no cocktails and a breathalyzer to land and take the fucking thing off. But in the air, when there's nothing there, it's flying by its fucking self.
Right.
They
so
got
you're admitting
the government's got fucking drones that
We're
that size.
talking about
that
airplanes, dude.
I'm trying to make a point here.
The drones are being flown remotely.
You're admitting that jet airliners.
Yeah, the ones making the chemtrails.
The jet airliners are already.
I'm just trying to put something in because the drama's getting kind of tight.
Autonomous, and they are. You're right. They are autonomous from taxi to takeoff to landing and gate.
Where the hell a taxi come into this? I'm just.
Why do we have pilots? Why do we have pilots in the seats? And when do you feel comfortable, Polly or Moggs or anybody here? When do you feel comfortable getting on an airplane where there's no pilot in that seat? When will that happen?
I'm telling you right now, if you're flying the fucking thing, I'm running out the
I
fucking
wouldn't have a problem.
Was Danny DeVito driving it?
Right now.
You know,
it
in
works
certain
right now. It's already proven to work.
In certain applications, things are going to work better than others. I mean, I'm sure they could fine tune this at some point, and the plane could fly its fucking self. The drones do, the cameras do. They get laser guided bombs that can hit a pimple.
The planes do fly themselves. You just admitted that. Wait, you've already admitted the planes can fly themselves, and that's absolutely true.
After they've been put to the proper fucking flight pattern, right? They got clearance. Yeah. There's no other planes around. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts in that. You can't just
okay, guys. Mods, I'll check you later, man.
What about
I'm headed out.
Take it easy.
Later, buddy.
All right.
Thanks for stopping.
Be good. Bye, Polly, Ben, and who the fuck you are, I don't know, but bye.
Oh fuck! I thought Ben was leaving. It was Mid-South.
It was what?
No, it's all good. I don't want you to leave, Ben. I thought it was you leaving. I thought you were saying peace, yo. I'm like, all right, yeah, see you later, Ben. And it's like Mid-South. Yeah, I gotta go.
Okay, got you.
I gotta get a raise. I got a straight razor shave lined up at like 10:35.
That's good, man.
Yeah, but I just, I think with all this technology and stuff, I think to put a time window on anything, I think cars first and foremost, because it's something we use more so every day than anything else. Yeah, planes fly every day. This does this every day. Trucks drive on the road every fucking day. But the bottom line is, I just think that the time window that you expressed in the previous show is inaccurate. It's closer than you think. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less, Pat. And I respect your point, and you can do and say what you want, and you can, support it to the end. I disagree as an adult, respectfully, because I rode in a vehicle that fucking drove itself, and a guy doing 63 miles an hour in front of us, the truck fucking passed him with no fucking assistance from my buddy. He's like, "Hey, watch this."
Sure. And again, let me remind you, anytime you've flown in the past 10 or 15 years, you flew in a plane.
I gotta pay for 2 seats. I don't fly.
Dude.
You flew in a plane that was completely autonomous, yet it had 2 pilots in it. So the technology is already here, yet we still put pilots in the seats. So how far away are we? 100 years away? Are we 20 years away?
That's your opinion. That's what you
when are we going to pull the pilots out of the seats? Because the technology is already here and proven.
Right, but Pat, and a lot of times when you talk about drone flying, like someone already stated, it's remote. A human is flying that fucking drone.
No,
it ain't flying itself.
Wrong. Humans do not remotely control airplanes. That's not
drones, dude. He didn't say airplanes. He said drones.
Yeah, but he's making the comparison. He's trying to tell me.
He's saying,
no, I'm talking about fucking drones. Pat. I didn't express fucking airliner, passenger airliner.
Well, I'm talking about airliners. I asked you a question. When do we pull the pilots out of the seat? Man. Well, when do we pull the pilots out of the seat? That's a simple question.
When fucking the government decides that this is safe enough to do. Until then, they're not going to. They're in charge of everything,
the
dude.
government.
They're watching you. They're watching Mogs. They're watching me. They don't, they're watching Ben. They don't give a fuck about me because, it's just, I live
But
a
they're
boring
watching you
life.
anyway.
Oh.
They're watching you
Other
anyway.
people live exciting lives. You know what I mean? Thumb in the Bum, Tom Thumb, Rip Van Winkle, 100 years away. They're watching you people.
Okay, so the government comes out tomorrow and says, you know what? It's safe to pull pilots out of the seats. Planes are fully autonomous. We're pulling the pilots out. How many people are flying the next day?
A lot.
Depending upon how many people are
fucking
fucking,
get from point A to
depending
point B.
upon how
They ain't
long
gonna
the
stop
research window is, Pat. Come on, man.
Okay, so are you guys getting on an airplane tomorrow if the government says tomorrow no more pilots? Are you
As
So
long
I'm
as the
saying-
fucking pilot's name ain't
If it
Pat, I'm on
fucking
the
works,
fucking plane.
yeah.
I'm telling
Dude,
you
let
that
me
right
ask
now,
you this
because
shit. How many
you
people
can't
got
just give a
vaccinated?
little to understand the overall point, Pat. I'm not saying that it isn't going to happen, but
Oh,
you know
that
what?
does,
You
man.
can't just say
I'm
it's
not
cut
the
and
one
dry.
being
This is this is
unrealistic
that.
here,
It doesn't
man.
work that way, dude.
Dude, how many people got
Republic would
vaccinated?
go nuts if that
I didn't
happened.
get one,
Vaccines?
man. I ain't fucking
Yeah.
gonna.
How many people got vaccines because the government said it was safe without it being tested?
I know
Answer that
plenty. I know a
question.
dozen people that have their fucking
We're talking
current
about
booster and been
We're
sick.
talking
So
about being
that's bullshit.
30,000 feet in the air, traveling 500 miles an hour.
Dude,
Not
this is
vaccines.
people's lives. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to bring it around to politics and mean liking vaccines
Great
or
point,
not,
though.
but people just listen to what the government says and they take it for, they take it as being true. That's what
So
they do.
be sheeple.
I think Raptor's got a good guesstimate. He says, I give it 25 to 30 years without pilots in the airplane.
That's exactly what I think.
Safe bet.
And it'll be less
80-50.
time with no
But-
truckers in the trucks.
But the
Yeah.
truth is that technology has already been around for 20 or 30 years.
Oh,
so
sure. But
why
it
don't we
always
just pull the
it was a
pilots out
military
now?
Arguing
application,
that
I'm
point,
sure.
though, Pat.
The technology's already
the
here.
point of when it's
Why
going to
not
be a
pull them out
useful
now?
and productive point of society. That's what we're trying to determine. And we can't put a label on that. One, we're not engineers.
What?
And two, we have no fucking idea. So
You're right. I'm not an engineer, but I know that a jet airliner can take itself off and fly to a certain destination and land itself without the aid of the fucking pilot. Therefore, the technology is here. So what's the nuance over the next 30 years that since the technology exists now, what's the nuance over the next 30 years that removes the pilot?
But what you're saying now is completely out. You're flippity floppity. You're here 100 years away. Now you're saying the technology is here now. I mean, which one is it, Pat? I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick, dude, really. I just want to know where you stand on this because it's been bothering.
Answer the question. Answer the question.
Answer what fucking question, dude?
What's the nuance but over the next 20 to 30 years?
Why do we have to wait?
I would say
technology is already here, why do we have to wait that
testing
long?
fucking vaccines, dude? You can't figure it out in 4 weeks, but it takes 5 years of trials. It's the same fucking shit, just a different smell, man. Come on, man. You're a smart guy. You ain't that dumb, really, man.
Like you didn't even give a coherent answer.
Oh, jeez.
Like, come
really,
on,
I didn't coherent. I'm sorry that you didn't understand that, but I'll explain it again.
Yeah.
Whether it's 5 years, 5 months, 5 fucking days. There's no time window or timestamp on when someone's going to say this is okay or not okay. The vaccine, they rushed, right? You had Pfizer, you had Moderna, and you had...
We're talking about fucking airplanes.
And you had Johnson & Johnson, right? Johnson & Johnson, one shot instead of two. I'm talking about the vaccine, not planes.
Well, I'm not. I'll listen to you talk about the vaccines. Go ahead.
I'm using it as an example.
Raptor, we're all over the place, and I don't know why. So
how are you comparing fucking vaccines to jet airliners without pilots in them?
Time window, Pat. Time window. Time fucking window.
Okay, time window. I'm all ears.
Please just let me finish what I'm saying, and then I'll get off. Okay.
What's
time
your
window, Pat? They rushed the vaccine. I know people that are current with all the fucking boosters and still got it. Okay, because they didn't put enough time and research into making sure it was safe. That's my overall point. When the government
you're comparing
that fucking
a fucking virus
without humans in them, then that'll be acceptable for everybody, and they'll tell you that.
No, you're comparing a virus to jet airliner.
The virus is fucking irrelevant, jackass. It's the fucking overall point. It's a time window. Open your ears.
It's a time
Stop
window.
being stubborn and fucking being a dick. The
What?
overall point is it's the time
You
window.
sort of are, Pat. You're being very argumentative.
Like, dude,
This is why I don't like you, because you're a jackass. You are what they call in Webster's Dictionary asshat. And to that, I am leaving.
Okay.
Good night, all. Mogs, I just cannot deal with this fucking dude.
Right.
Later, buddy.
Bye.
Yeah, it's fucking
Okay.
cock.
Well, I mean, I thought we could all agree to disagree.
Hold on. Where'd Jeff? There you are. What's up, Jeff?
Hey, Jeff.
Squirrel.
Where? How you doing, man?
What's up? Oh God.
Yeah,
how are you guys doing?
I'm all right, bro.
How you?
This is a crazy Moog show for sure.
Wow, come on. That's what we come to expect. Is a little.
Yeah.
Let me see what Jimbo just had to say. I could see 4 or 5 trucks being unoccupied, though maybe one person in a truck overseeing everything. I don't feel it's going to happen in 5 years. Could you imagine how many chargers have to be installed? Yeah.
Yeah, really.
I think the real argument is based on autonomy. I hate this word.
Autonomy. Autonomy.
Yeah. Autonomous vehicles. I think the real argument and the problem we're seeing in the world right now is they're trying to adjust too heavily one direction in an unrealistic manner is how fast will it be based on an electric propulsion versus gas?
Yeah, well, that depends on the whole world economy, though. You know what I mean?
No, it doesn't. There's science behind that. You cannot take a train full of coal and power it with electricity. You can't take a semi and expect it to run through the Rocky Mountains on a battery bank.
Yeah, that's not gonna.
I mean, I'm not saying you can't at some point, but we're talking decades away, and yet we're trying to disconnect ourselves from fossil fuels overnight, and that's bullshit.
I don't think
that's lying to the world that can happen.
Fuel argument. I understand the connection to fossil fuels, and some of that is in play, but we're talking about autonomy, which is
I understand that. I'm just saying your guys' argument about autonomy.
Hey,
really, the argument that needs to be that's hurting the world right now is trying to make them believe that we can fly jet airliners on electric. Like we don't need to drill. We don't need oil.
Yeah,
we don't need. That's the biggest lie being pitched to the world right now. It's not funny.
Fossil fuels are the only thing that keep the modern world alive. That's it. Fossil fuels, hands down.
As far as autonomous vehicles, I mean, like we've already said, I mean, once the technology or the innovation is there on a tiny little scale, it's just a matter of time, and usually a quick matter of time before it's ramped up. And if we can say we can stare at a drone that we've pre-programmed to fly a flight path and just hit a button and then sit back and watch it go exactly where we've programmed it to go and come back and land. Yeah. The idea that can't be done with a jet airliner full of people, like you said, we've got pilots there as a security measure, but it's already being done. There. I mean, it's now how soon before those pilots aren't physically sitting in the seat? I mean,
not very soon. Because the public will never accept that.
I mean, the only thing that I could use to give an example is we put a monkey in a space capsule and shoot it into space, and within a couple of years, there's humans doing it. I mean, it's at what point do you feel comfortable saying we'll risk lives to let technology take over? And usually it doesn't take 100 years. I mean,
So does anybody here think that the government and corporations are not willing to risk lives just to try stuff out?
Ben, the government, if there's enough money in it, doesn't give a fuck about lives.
I know it
really doesn't.
I know
it's all about money.
I know
a good example.
question.
A good example, without straying too far in the weeds, is Honda invented an engine that would run on water.
Yeah, I've heard.
I mean, it would, and they literally did that 35 years ago.
I've heard of that.
And the government looked at this and said, we're going to put every convenience store out of business. I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands of employees done overnight. The oil and gas industry is going to be chopped off at the knees. We can't let this hydro propulsion technology get out there.
There's no energy.
And they didn't.
There's no energy in water unless gravity's in play. You're talking about hydrocells.
But
I'm talking about Honda made a car run on water. They flat out did.
No, that's why I asked that question about the world economy on oil. The oil economy.
It ran on. It
ran on hydrogen.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. You put water in it, and it separated the hydrogen and all that.
Well, yeah. You can make a hydrogen cell with baking soda.
Extremely inefficient. It's not a good technology. Like that, it has nothing to do with the government putting gas stations. Like, trust me, if it was that easy, it would just be done. You could,
no, it wouldn't
build it yourself.
The world runs on the oil economy, man.
Yeah, of course it
does.
It's
all about the money.
Of course
I mean,
it is.
If you came out right now,
the oil economy.
Here's the proof. I mean, if you came out right now with any technology,
you're enjoying it right now with your electricity and your.
I don't know how much I'm enjoying it right now.
Pat, pick any business sector you want to, whether it be medicine and medical.
You want, bro.
If you cured cancer right now and you said, "Here's the pill to do it," it'd never make the fucking market. I guarantee you it would. There's billions being made on people having cancer.
You're right.
If you cured diabetes overnight with a pill, it'd never fucking make the market. They're
gonna assassinate you, bro. You're gonna get.
The whole world is driven by fucking money and
all these corporations. They support the government with the like lobbyists and shit like that.
Again, I mean, yes, their corporations do. They are intertwined with government. That's a problem.
And they control the world.
That is a real problem. That causes problems, can cause problems in our own personal lives sometimes.
If you want to change the world, truly change the world, get rid of the media and get rid of all the Rothschilds and them like them.
Hey.
You can't
and now you could make a difference.
The elite.
You can't get rid of the media.
Oh, Pat, I'll just tell you right now, the number one, I got to be careful on how I state this. But if you were gonna overthrow a tyrannical government, what you do is you get rid of the media first.
Yeah,
that's the first ones in your crosshairs.
That's what every tyrant in history has done.
With the lie.
Stevie asked, do you really think there isn't a cure for cancer?
Oh, I know that. She's exactly right.
No, there's not a cure for cancer. There's no reason to think that there's a fucking cure for cancer that somebody's sitting on.
Okay.
Why not?
Because it would be worth trillions of dollars, not billions.
Yeah.
No, but it's worth more for the treatment of cancer for the corporations.
Yeah. So
there's more money involved in treating cancer than curing it.
I mean, just look at it on its face. It would be worth trillions of dollars.
Soul Asylum said it best, guys. We'll create the cure and then we'll make the disease.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't take my life advice from, very many song lyrics. Especially those that come from Soul Asylum.
Yeah.
Yeah. That doesn't match reality. Again, a cure for cancer would be worth trillions, not billions. And
but that's assuming first
what do you
of all
think
that
cancer,
it's
are you saying that the cancer industry is only worth billions of dollars?
Yeah, really.
There's another thing you got to consider.
Is it measured in trillions? I'm sorry.
The cure would have.
Oh, it'd have to be. You mean like our gross domestic product, which is about $4 trillion a year? So where does
the
cancer
cure would have
fall
to be
into that?
synthetic.
Like, get out of here, man.
The only way you could release it is if the cure is synthetic, meaning it can be produced by companies in labs. If the cure is naturally derived from a tree sap or a berry or some shit like that, and you can't cure the 1/10 of the population that's suffering from it all at once, now you start talking about who gets it first and what's it cost and who gets paid for it and all that stuff. And you start getting into that, and all of a sudden it's like, look, we aren't even prepared to try to bring it to market.
Okay, can I ask this question? Do we as human beings do our best effort, medical professionals, scientists, and even pharmaceutical, do we do our best effort to treat cancer as best as we can to save people's lives? Do we or don't we?
Do you know anybody who's ever had cancer try to fight it without having to pay?
Great question. Great question.
Not me personally, but there are places like St. Jude's where you don't have to pay.
Well, no, okay, so I get that, Pat. I'm not going to discount the point that you just made there. But my point is this: the idea that we can afford to say, let's get rid of the chemo, let's get rid of the doctor, let's get rid of all that and replace it with an aspirin type. You take this, you'll get better.
Yeah,
that ain't ever going to happen. If that's the way that cure works, it will never happen.
It's true.
And I hate to say that. I hate to say it because I'd like to think mankind were better than that, but we aren't.
Absolutely not.
Because we're controlled by fuckers who aren't.
It's a very complicated. I think you guys we're talking about a complicated thing that's
true.
Way the fuck above any of our heads.
Yeah.
Okay, but the root of it all is money.
I don't know you, Ben, but
So how do you know what's above his head?
Well, I don't know you, Ben. I was gonna say in disclaimer, maybe you're a medical professional, maybe you're not, but
maybe he has the cure for cancer in his desk drawer. You don't know.
And for all I know, man, Moggs could be a former EMS first responder guy. I'm just kind of guessing here that this is that the cancer, the whole cancer thing is way above our heads. And yes, I would like to think that humanity is doing the best it can because that seems to be the trend on how we work as a species.
You seem to be pretty naive
with what we're dealt with,
Well, you'd like to wish that they're doing it.
I'm not wishing
everybody would in an ideal world, but
in an ideal world, exactly.
Yeah, but I am not imagining an opposing force that would want to shut that down.
Okay. Dude, just follow the money. I mean, it's the answer to pretty much everything. Just follow the money. So if you would give somebody a pill that would knock out, that would cure cancer, there's no money to be made on the patients.
Exactly.
None.
Well, we use cancer as the example, but
you might charge
any
$1 million
100 diseases you want to that there's been money made on, and probably the most common one is diabetes.
Exactly.
It costs you $150 or whatever for a freaking vial of insulin.
Exactly.
I mean, you know how many we're talking 20, 30 million people in this country that need it.
And the whole the formula
and it's not
for
getting
insulin,
cheaper.
Since it's been created, has never changed. Insulin's never changed. It's been insulin.
So many. You look at how many people have diabetes. You ought to be able to buy it over the counter like fucking Tylenol.
You're right, man.
You still got to go see a doctor to get a fucking prescription for it.
And there was
because the doctor will make money giving you the prescription.
Absolutely.
And then the pharmaceutical company will make the money. And you know what? Go look at insulin bottles. There's only 2 brands in the world that fucking make it. I mean, you got Lantus and you got freaking Novolog. I mean, if there's that many people who need it, how come there aren't 100 companies making it? driving the market price down to where you can buy for $10 because the government won't let them.
Well, that's a different discussion, and if that were the case, Jeff, if it's
the exact same thing we're talking about.
If it
just changed the name of the disease, and it's the same model that exists with all of them.
I don't. I mean, cancer's different. I mean, cancer isn't just diabetes. Is diabetes for the most part. I mean, I know there are different tiers, but cancer is like it could be 1,000 different forms of cancer you get, and treatment for that. You know, I mean, so you're talking about
well, I don't know what the numbers are, Pat, but I can tell you there's more people dying. There's just as many people dying from complications of diabetes as there is of any forms of cancer.
Hey, Pat, can they both kill you if going untreated? Can they both kill you?
Oh yeah, I mean,
okay.
I mean, actually, yeah, diabetes in most forms will kill you way quicker than cancer if untreated.
Okay, I mean, so why are they not similar?
Huh?
Why are they not similar?
Well, I mean, you made a very like a connection to how they can be similar. Everything kills. Everything kills.
Well, okay, so I guess my point is this: the idea that the government would look at something and intervene with something that would not better mankind because there isn't as much money into it. You know, there's examples that even outside of the medical thing. I mean, let's talk about. Well, let's look at the fossil fuels. Okay, we say that oil prices go up because of Russia, because of this, because there's all these factors that drive oil price up, right? But yet every winter, I have a propane tank out there that I fill with natural gas. Okay. We get that from a fucking crack in the ground right here in the US.
Yeah.
And every winter it costs twice as much as it does as if you call them in June to fill it. Every winter. Now, would that be easier on families and mankind if we didn't stick everybody in the ass every winter? Absolutely it would. Would people make as much money? No. There's regulation in that. There are controlling factors that me and you don't have any control over. All we do is write the fucking check and bleed when we do.
You're right.
And the reason why they don't bring the prices down, those prices don't go up because of war or anything else. They go up because of demand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's a demand that if they worked as hard in the summer to fill and stockpile, I mean, how come the government isn't saying, hey, let's create a national reservoir of fucking natural gas so that way people don't have to pay double. These low-income families are freezing because their fucking shit's turned off because they can't pay their bill. Let's let them not freeze, right? Let's meet the demand year-round because we don't need wars to stop us. All we got to do is decide to do it, right? But the fucking government doesn't do that.
No.
The government says, fuck it. There's more money to be made. There's more taxation to be had if we let it be. It doesn't matter if people suffer. It doesn't. They don't care about that.
No, they don't. Dude, the government.
You can take that example through
not just the government, big business. It's, you know.
Yeah, that gets convoluted so fast, man.
How?
Yeah. It's not convoluted. It's not a simple thing. I mean, we all have government officials. I mean, like, go talk to them. Like, it gets convoluted quick.
Wow. Okay.
Wow, what?
I mean, what's going talk to your government official going to do if the whole government is driven by corporations giving them kickbacks by them making profits? Dude, they don't even tax corporations.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, dude, if you're not engaged in your own government officials that you can vote for or vote against, like, that's on you.
I can go tell me the name of the government official that I can talk to and get insulin for half price or get natural gas cheaper in the winter. Nobody's going to fucking change anything.
Again, I mean, you know, like you're talking about medical treatments and things like that I think aren't so easy to sum up. If like I can't remember the last time I saw a really good documentary on how insulin could be so much easier.
Well, Pat, don't corner it though. I'm saying it's in every sector. Tell me what government official I could talk to where I could buy a brand new, fully loaded Chevy truck for 35 grand like you could 10 years ago instead of 80 grand like it is now. What government official is going to fucking help me with that? None of them are, because they're getting paid not to help you with that. And that's a fact.
Again, that's a generalization. That's a generalization. It's like, I don't know. Really. I don't know who your congressman is, but did you just accuse your United States congressman of getting paid to make a fucking Ford truck $80,000? Like,
no. What I'm saying is that the government would like you to pay 80 grand because they make more tax on it. The government would like Ford to make that much more money because they have to pay tax on it. The government would like Ford to have to pay more for the steel because they have to pay tax on it. It's all about money. It's all about money. Yep. And you know what? If I got elected right now as an independent, fuck the Democrats, fuck the Republicans. If I got elected as an independent and went to Washington and said, this shit's got to change, they'd throw me out of my ass. That's just the way it is. To deny that isn't even fucking realistic.
Well, if you were elected official, I don't know how they throw you out on your ass. There's really no.
Why do you take everything so fucking literal and turn it around?
Yeah, exactly.
Those were his words.
But dude, you're taking everything tonight literally, and you're just
the point that I'm making, Pat, is that you would be ineffective. Nobody would work with you. Nobody would. There would be an opposing force, lobbyists, everybody else telling every other congressman, fuck that Jeff guy, because he's going to cost us money if people listen to him.
Like
that would happen.
Sort of like, okay, so a good example of that would sort of be Ron Paul. He definitely fell into that category.
Sure, a lot, and a lot of them have since then. There's been guys who have went there with good intentions, men and women who have said, I'm not here for the money, I'm here to better mankind.
Right.
And they got nowhere because the lobbyists and all the fellow people and the only way you'll make a difference is to overthrow the whole fucking thing on its ear.
Well, and start over.
Which brings me back to my first statement. The only way you'd ever do that is to get rid of the media. Literally, if we were going to form a giant war against the government, the first people you'd eliminate is media, because they're the ones who are lying to everybody.
They're paid shills, dude. They are paid shills. The media, they toe lines. Whatever the Democrats tell them or the Republicans tell them, that's what they say. They have
everybody looks at Iran and says, oh, the worst thing is that there's only one media there and they're controlled by the government. It's no difference here, man.
That's true.
No difference.
Not much. I mean,
there are a few fringe ones that are trying to break through and tell the truth, but I mean,
well, I mean, you got CNN, you got Fox News.
Shit, you go get a job at any of those.
I watched a video of all these different broadcasts. The same event, say it was a fucking plane crash, for instance.
Right.
Whatever. Every channel from California to New York had the same exact story, same wording, same everything.
I have seen that local channels.
And then anything politically covered is completely different.
Dude,
I can tell you right now, if you went to work for CNN, if you went to CNN, the Wall Street Journal, CNBC, Fox News, OAN, I don't care if it's left or right, you go to any of them and you tell them, I'm here for a job, and they say, what kind of reporter are you? And you say, I'm going to follow the truth and I'm going to report exactly what I uncover. Every one of them will say, that shit ain't going to fly here, man.
Yeah.
Every one of them would tell you that. They all have an agenda.
Wait, I'm a little. Stevie's getting all pissed off. When the fuck did we start talking politics?
Okay.
I don't know. I guess
I wasn't really trying.
As soon as the word government comes
up, I'm not
up,
going pro left or
politics,
right.
But
it's not politics.
I haven't said anything.
You can't talk about government without talking
politics.
About
I haven't said anything that's pro left or right.
No, that's.
I have been absolutely.
I don't see
I'm
it
just
as
talking the truth. I'm trying to speak the truth in the idea that this idea that we can change the world through government look, we're under the thumb, man, and you're never going to get out from under the thumb in a lot of situations. And I'd like to think that if we're smart enough and, you know, innovative enough, that we could work together and come up with solutions to problems. And the truth is, we probably could, but bringing them to market, that's a whole different deal. If you fail, it's usually not because you didn't have a good product or you didn't have the drive to make it work. It's because it was going to cost somebody a lot of fucking money if you succeeded. And that's why change just comes so stagnantly right now.
Ask a question. Ben T, what the fuck does Jaffo mean?
Right.
Sorry, I'm like, what the hell is that?
But just, you know, the one thing we don't need to do is let our differences get personal. I mean, I'm not trying to preach here. I love Pat like a brother. I love Paulie like a brother. I mean, there's no reason for it to get personal. We're passionate about our opinions, and they might collide now and then. But fucking hey, man, what, you know?
Everybody's completely
if the world's going to get to be a better place, it's by listening to each other and just saying, look, you know, I heard it said tonight a couple times. We can agree to disagree. But I'll tell you right now, when somebody says, well, that's the reason why I don't like you, dude, we don't need to say that shit. I heard Paulie say that. I was like, come on, Paul, you don't need to say that. Come on, brother.
What you wish for, here I come.
There he is.
Because I'm not here to make anybody feel bad. I'm just here to say, look, man, I get where we have differences of opinion, but we don't need to let it get personal. I mean, we're the kind of guys that, you know, we could get drunk at the bar and knock each other around a little bit, and the next morning be laughing about it. I hope that's the case.
Pulling pine cones out of your ass. That ain't happening. But anyway, you ain't Sasquatch Sam. I do it for him. But for you, you know, we're like second, third cousins. That ain't happening. But I just wanted to chime in for this. I'm a diabetic. I live with diabetes. Diabetes cannot kill you. It's everything else that it does to your body and organs that will make you die.
Diabetes, well, it's mismanagement. It's mismanagement. It's mismanagement, Paulie, and there's a lot of people out there without insurance who can't manage it properly.
Jeff, one of my sugar pills is fucking $900 for 90 days. You're preaching to the fucking choir, dude. I'm just, you know,
you know, Paulie, I got a $9,000 insulin pump in my fucking pocket. So don't think I don't know what I'm talking about.
No.
There's a lot of people who need one of these and they can't get one. You know why? They don't have insurance.
My point.
And they'll die because it'll go mismanaged. That's all I'm saying.
My point was that it's expensive, and people that don't have diabetes have no fucking idea. That's why I said you're preaching to the choir. I have one pill that's 90-day supply, $900. I can't afford that, dude. You know what? I ain't taking the fucking pill. It's just that simple. So, you know, we're in agreement with that. This is crazy. I'm sorry that you're a diabetic and have a pump. That's my next step.
I don't need anybody to feel sorry about it.
I'm probably going to be where you're at, Jeff. I just wanted to try.
What makes me feel bad is I was on Facebook today and I see this lady posting a picture of her 8-year-old kid saying he needs insulin and it's $120 a month or whatever to fill it, and they don't have insurance, and she's on one of these, you know, leg up type local Facebook group saying, is there anybody out there who can help me? And I'm like, you know how many people who don't have the guts to ask for help because they're just sitting there and their kid's not getting the medicine they need.
It's a shame.
And you know why? Because the big man with the pharmaceutical company, he's going to get fucking paid by somebody. He don't give it away.
Those people, Jeff, they're evil. They have no business or no place on this planet. When you profit from people who are sick, and you want to take every last fucking dime they got just so they can live a normal life like regular people do, you people need to, you know, they really need to live like we live and understand. And, you know, maybe they may have a change of heart and turn around and they may become better people, but I fucking doubt.
Yeah. Well, you know,
it's will
not I hope that the chat understands that talking about problems in the world and talking about solving those problems or why we can't solve them That's not politics.
No,
okay, because I don't believe it would make a difference if it was all Republicans or all Democrats. It wouldn't make a difference. It's corporate. It's there is a problem with the idea, like Pat had brought up. We'd like to think that if somebody had a cure for something that could make the world a better place or help people,
they would be released.
That nothing would get in the way of that occurring. The problem is it does.
Jeff,
it does.
Pat brings good points to the table. He just needs to learn that sometimes it's okay to say you're wrong. And I don't think he has that. He's like Fonzie. He can't fucking do it. And I can see you're back. It's okay. I mean, sometimes your opinion may not be the best one out there. But just concede the fact that there's fucking, there's documented shit that's proven that I think you're a little off base, and that's okay.
I'm not.
We're all
that. I'm not always right, but that ain't your place, Paulie.
Neither am I.
It's an opinion, dude.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if I'm an asshole for every opinion, I'd just be a fucking body of assholes.
There's a difference. Me saying I don't agree with you and I think you're wrong isn't me putting a tattoo on your fucking forehead that says this guy is wrong. Okay, that's not what it is. It's my opinion.
That's it.
Okay, I'm not branding you for life as you being wrong.
So fun.
Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one.
Yeah.
True story.
Oh, dude, listen, it's okay, man. What the fuck? I'm just.
And guys, and everybody in chat, I apologize. This is not the way you want it to go. You never know where this is going.
If anybody doesn't, if anybody's saying, "Hey, I was going to come on, but I don't talk politics," let's not talk politics. Come on, let's go back. Let's talk some music. Let's talk about whatever the fuck you guys want.
Oh no,
let's talk supernatural shit.
Yeah.
And I don't give a fuck about autonomous anything, by the way.
Let's talk. Where would you go on vacation if you could go
Let's
anywhere?
Talk about food.
Let's talk about your sighting.
Vacation? What? Where would who go? Anybody?
Yeah, I mean, my wife was saying, my kids were asking me, if we went on vacation this year, where would we go? And I'm thinking, are you asking me where we can afford to go, or are you asking me where I would like to go? Because that's two different things, right? But
there's some amazing places in this world I'd like to see. Like Bora Bora or some those exotic islands, or I don't know, Australia, New Zealand, and there's a lot I want to see in this country. So I never really thought about like the ultimate trip. What would it be?
Mm-hmm.
Have y'all know about the Georgia Guidestones? I think it's called.
Yeah,
that does.
What is that about?
Nothing.
Population control.
Oh, okay.
It was Ted Turner was a part of the funding for the Georgia Guidestones, which got put up, I don't know, 40 years ago.
What is that? I mean, what are they? I just saw some like an article, kind of.
Look it up, dude. I mean, read up on it.
Yeah, it's a bunch of New World Order BS, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, the kind of stuff you probably hate, Ben.
Ben T says Miss Dill wants to learn how to fish.
And it was
know how to fish.
There is a paragraph in there addressing what the world population should be.
500 million.
Yeah, roughly. I think it was under 100 million, or maybe even under. So what's the world population now? 6 billion? 6 billion?
Probably more than that, I think.
So basically, it's advocating for genocide.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
That place has been vandalized and graffitied many times.
I'm surprised it's still standing.
Yeah, it hadn't gotten to the point where somebody strapped C4 onto it and blew it up. But it's been vandalized several times.
Well, the South has taken out statues of Robert E. Lee, but to leave that bullshit up, come on.
Yeah, sorta. I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying when you say that. But yeah, I mean, that's basically the Georgia Guidestones is really a bunch of shit you'd hate. Like you don't want to be a part of. Like it's dangerous rhetoric almost.
Okay. All right. Well, sorry I brought that up. I was just.
Oh no,
No.
It's curious.
No,
You
it's a
didn't
good
know.
question,
Yeah,
man.
you're just curious and yeah.
What about what y'all think about what's the name of the place in Turkey that's supposedly made, like I saw this on Ancient Aliens a long time ago. The place that's made, I can't remember the name of it. Wow, it's like some underground cavern that was made. I don't remember the name.
In Turkey.
Yeah.
Sounds like Redstone Arsenal in Huntsville, Alabama.
What's that?
I was stationed at Redstone Arsenal in Huntsville, Alabama. It's an Army base where they develop weapon systems and anything that's really being figured out, so to speak. Like back when the stealth fighter was testing laser guided lock-on type systems and things like that.
Okay.
That's where they would develop it. And I got stationed there. Right when I got there, it made me get a security clearance. And I remember the first time going into the facility, I was like, you're looking at the side of, it's not even like a mountain. It's not like the Rocky Mountains, but it's like kind of like one little area that looks like North Georgia, or North Atlanta, like Stone Mountain area,
Yeah.
You go inside of this thing. There's like overhead doors. You go in, and all of a sudden it's opened up like the size of 5 football fields in there. Like, and it looks like a concrete floor, like a gigantic hangar, right? And there's different areas that the projects are working on. And then you realize you go over to this elevator area, or you can use these stairways, and it goes down, and there's 6 or 7 levels of this. And we're talking like 30-foot ceilings on each level going down, all that big. And each level, they're developing and testing different things with the government. It's the most spied upon military base in all of U.S. So like when I was stationed there, I had to go through a week of classes on that just reinforce this idea that if you went to the mall to go shopping and somebody comes up and starts talking to you, if you don't know them, you don't talk to them. You can't talk to them because it could be a Chinese spy that's just sent there to have a conversation with you and buy you a drink and act like, hey, I'm just hanging out. What are you up to? Like they're just trying to get to know you. You couldn't develop new relationships with anybody while you were stationed there.
Wow.
Because it's so top
that place
secret.
you're talking about is Göbekli Tepe.
Yeah. You ever heard of that?
In Turkey? The place in Turkey? No. No, nothing about it.
Have y'all ever heard of the what do y'all think about like the Dulles, New Mexico, I think it is? The Dulles underground bases. Y'all believe in that?
Do you mean Nullis?
No.
No, Dulles? I haven't heard of Dulles.
Bulce. I could be saying it wrong.
No, okay.
Have you ever heard of Bill Schneider?
Is that an Air Force base?
Yeah, Dulles is an Air Force.
That's what I thought.
Well, I could be saying it wrong. Dulce, maybe.
Yeah,
there are a lot of things that go on with the government when it comes to development and innovation that just they don't want the private sector to set the pace. They want to set the pace on it.
Okay.
And so they're very careful about not having that information released. And then they have all of a sudden a private company trying to develop it,
Mm-hmm.
They want proprietary rights to that type of development so that it can remain within the United States and only given to other countries we choose to share it with, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, national security reasons. I mean, just like what you're talking about with the F-22 or the B-2 bomb, like any like at the time classified aircraft working in the areas that it's working in for whatever reason. Obviously, that's a national security issue.
There's so many stories in our history that we've uncovered way after the fact of the development of these things. Nobody talks about it while it's going on. It's always way after when it's not a secret anymore. But one of the most interesting ones was when they were developing the SR-71 Blackbird.
Yeah.
That they had an issue with these engineers, the most brilliant minds we have that are developing this stuff, that this thing, when it would hit 36,000 feet or something like that, that the speed that it flew at in certain atmosphere or in certain temperatures, the fuel delivery system would gel up and it would get slushy. And they were trying to overcome this, and they couldn't do it with heat, like putting heat on fuel lines and things like that, because it was just too dangerous. And at that, this was back, if you think about the time and when they were making this, I mean, this is like color TVs were just starting to figure that shit out, right?
Yeah.
This is quite a while ago.
Yeah, it's the 60s. The 60s is when.
And so these engineers, they were stumped. And so they started bringing in engineers from around the world to generically try to solve this problem without disclosing this is what we're using it for, right? They started farming this out and bringing these guys in, and nobody could solve it. Literally, they arrived at the conclusion that the technology did not exist to be able to solve this problem. And eventually the government came in. This is when they were interviewing this guy who was 80, like in his upper 80s, and he was an engineer on that team, one of the head engineers. And they were interviewing him, and one of the his last year of life, he was terminally ill, and he said, "I'm going to put this out there publicly because we're far enough beyond this point. Shouldn't be a big deal." And he said 2 officials from the government came in. And they came in with this rolling crate that they had brought in that was locked. They unlocked it, opened it up, brought out this device, set it on a table, and said, "We want you to reverse engineer this. Take it apart, figure out how it works, blueprint it, and take that technology and make it work in this fuel delivery system." And those engineers did that for the next month. They took it apart, blueprinted it, figured out exactly how this device worked. And it did that technology was incorporated so that plane could fly at I don't even know. I mean, it's like 70,000 feet or some shit.
65 to 70,000
Yeah, I mean, it was
feet.
crazy at the speed that it flew, that this would not gel up now. But this engineer saying that when they were working on that, he had a team of like 11 or 12 engineers that reversed technology, blueprinted it, built it back together, and made this work, adapted it to that engine. They said that at nowhere in this world did that technology exist, that they believed that piece of equipment that they brought in was taken from a craft outside of.
Okay. All right.
Outside
it was beyond our technology,
what we would have known. And I thought that was interesting. He's not saying he thinks it came from a UFO or that anything about aliens walked in the room or nothing like that. He just simply saying that technology did not fucking exist anywhere in the world at that time.
Which is kind of extraordinary.
It's
thing to
intriguing.
happen for a simple problem. It seems like
it seems like there'd be a simple answer to it, but really for these guys, a lot of times the hardest things to overcome were some of the simplest issues, he said. I read this whole interview. I'll have to find it and send it to you because I thought it was interesting. I'm surprised that more shows that delve into, because he, like I said, he didn't talk about aliens or anything. He's just saying that he didn't feel that none of his engineers felt that this technology, like they were learning something that nobody had ever seen before when they were looking at this device, saying nothing had been made there was no need to make something like that prior to that point.
They flipped the script somehow. I mean, there's all kinds of interesting ways to think about solving that problem from outside sources.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, with today's technology, you look at all the other things that have been developed and say, well, geez, they use it there. Why couldn't they use it? Well, like I say, this was back in the early 60s where it's like that shit wasn't out there, you know?
Yeah. Speaking of technology timelines, is it true? Well, do y'all believe it's true that the military is like 50 years ahead of us?
Supposedly.
I suppose it depends on what.
It depends.
You know, what technology you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, you look at how far technologies came in the last 20 years.
Dude,
when it comes to computers, single core processors to 7-core processors, things like that. It's just crazy.
Isn't that kind of curious, though?
I can give you a real world
the whole
example.
Advancement of technology so rapidly.
Exactly. For so many years, we've been living in like from the, I don't know,
70s.
Dude, from like the 50s to the 90s, everything was pretty much exactly the same. Then all of a sudden, everything started exploding exponentially. The technology. Man, like
I mean, I can give you some examples of like military being ahead of us that I know of. And there's a couple of things, a few things actually. So GPS. So when you get in your car or your phone, if you're using your phone in your car, or modern vehicles have GPS systems, like that's all military technology. So that they were 15 years ahead. Like
the FLIR and stuff too, huh?
Yeah, those satellites went up in the 80s, right?
Yeah. Okay.
On space shuttle, right?
Okay.
Like, so all those cool space shuttle missions that we watched launch, they were launching our GPS technology, like every single one of them.
All right.
And so we got GPS in the late 90s, basically really reliable for civilian use in the early 2000s. That's one example. Another example, the internet. We have the internet because of encrypted communications for military use.
Okay.
That was actually, and so it was actually Bill Clinton who kind of opened it up to in the 90s to civilian use. And so that's another example. And the other example I can give you is FLIR technology.
Yeah.
So thermal FLIR, advanced systems.
Yeah, the forward-looking infrared.
Yeah.
Well, and another good example is
they are reliably 10 years ahead. What the military has right now, we won't see for 10 years. And I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen that in the past 10 years.
Another great example is that we see it all over now, but the military had it for 10 to 15 years before any of the world technology companies started using it. And that's like reticle identification and things like that. Walking down a hallway and just looking up at a camera and a door unlocks because of the way that your irises and everything are patterned.
It's like a fingerprint.
That's something that the military had long before it started becoming
biometrics.
Facial recognition advancements and things like. Now it's like, fuck, everybody's got. Your Apple iPhone has it. I mean,
your iPhone. Yeah. So yeah, there's some good examples, and yeah, I could easily say that, the stuff the military is using right now, as far as FLIR goes, is at least 10 years ahead of what civilians will be able to have their hands.
We're talking about things that have a practical purpose outside of the military in everyday technology. There's a lot of things that don't have a practical purpose in that world. For instance, the military's use and the long time advancement of dealing with infrasound as a disorientation factor on the battlefield.
Yeah.
What would Apple need to use that for? This is something that's combat related, tactically combat related, to have the upper advantage in a battlefield situation. It really isn't much civilian use for some of that technology. Same thing with the stealth aircraft. The angles and textures in order to avoid radar. I mean, what what did you need? There really wasn't a civilian demand for anything like that.
Yeah.
But that was huge advancement in technology for the military to come up with that.
And that was, again, that goes back to the 70s.
Yeah.
So I can confidently say that I bet every one of y'all, believes in UFOs, right?
I don't know about belief, but yeah, I mean,
well, I think it's pretty
thing going on there.
You know what he means.
Even as a Christian, I find it hard to stand out and look at a sky full of stars and think I'm vain enough to think that we live on the only little rock in all of what you're looking out at, and think it's the only place life can exist.
Yeah, it's
so
easy.
So if we can at least acknowledge and be open-minded enough to say, yeah, that'd be a hard pull to think we're the only one. Well, now you're saying, well, how can you be closed-minded enough to think that nobody else could be smart enough to create the ability to travel?
Absolutely.
Yeah, more.
So, do you think that the military has that technology right now?
I don't know about. That's a tough one, dude. That's a tough one, man. Like, there's no real reason to think that, but there's like you could connect those dots for sure.
Which technology?
Like a UFO technology with
I'm sure they reverse engineered a few ships.
I don't know. It depends. It depends on what road do you want to go down there?
Acknowledging that something exists and acknowledging that it's not just a phenomena, but we have reason to believe or proof that it exists is a lot different than saying we've communicated with them, we've swapped technology with them, we have that technology and we're implementing. I'm not going to say that isn't happening. I'm just saying that's a lot different than just acknowledging that they exist.
Well, you're right.
Well, put it this way. Say Roswell.
Sorry, Boggs.
Okay, they supposedly recovered a craft. What was that? 47?
47, yeah. 47.
If they came into their technology in 47, wouldn't the timeline be just about right for them to figure it out, reverse engineer, and figure out applications for it? For suddenly,
I think the technology to figure out and reverse engineer anything from 47 to, let's say, 97 was fairly stagnant. I'm not stagnant, but slow moving. I think from 2010 on, with the technology that we have, I think within a year, anything you can get your hands on physically and understand and take it apart and reproduce it and get that, I don't think that's an issue at all. I think that can be done very quickly. I think the big thing that we're tripping over is the idea that something that communicates in a different language, in a different way than how we do, you could bridge that in a quick period of time in order to get to where you could reverse engineer or communicate or swap or wherever the woo wants to take you in that. That's pretty strong reach, man. I mean,
I would say the real reach there is the real disconnect is that to me there's really no way that we could ever, not ever, but for a very long time, understand or reverse engineer any kind of alien technology that would have to come from so far, obviously very far away, and it would be so advanced, dude. It would be a whole like onion layers of
that
understandings of physics that we're not even
and it may, Pat, it may
be no leap Pat, it may be like based on jet fuel and shit.
It may be driven or fueled by a resource that we simply don't have.
Yeah, in our solar system.
You know.
Yeah, we don't have it. We don't even have it in our solar system. But
how I like to break this down so that it slows the woo factor, so to speak, a little bit, is Pat, imagine, take the whole UFO and aliens out. Let's just suppose that wherever you grew up in the world and wherever I grew up in the world, we speak different languages. We communicate differently. When I smile, that doesn't mean happy to you because it means something else where you know what I mean? Everything's different, right? And now we meet. Now we meet and you come over and you write something down on a piece of paper and I hang it up on my fridge and you leave and I look at that every day for a decade and I still don't know what the hell it means. And one day somebody comes over from your part of the world and looks at it and says, "Oh, hello." And I'm like, "What?" And they said, "Yeah, that means hello." Well, for 10 years I looked at it and didn't know what it meant, right? I mean, the idea of bridging a fucking communication gap like that and being able to communicate and develop a relationship where you can exchange technology and understand each other's, innovative thinking and things like that. That shit, I don't believe that you just give somebody a pill or they come here and they know everything about us and to me, that's harder to grasp than the idea of could this exist or sure that shit could exist. But at what rate would it take? What duration would it take to just a spaceship? Let's suppose a spaceship did crash in 47, like Muggs alluded to. It may have taken 50 years to even understand what the fuck we're even looking at, or even establish communication with where they came from. To be able to say, what the hell is this? Why were you guys here? What was your reason?
The reason would be the same reason like we would do is curiosity. You could assume that, sure.
You'd have to. That's all you got to do is assume that.
Yeah. But my point is here's a good example. For instance, remember when the crop circles started showing up, the Led Zeppelin album cover, right?
Right.
A large portion of them were determined to be faked. They were hoaxed. They proved they were hoaxed.
Yeah.
A lot of them they couldn't prove because it appears that it was so uniform and it was done in such a symmetrical in a 10-minute time period overnight. Like there was boom, it was there. Right.
And it's so symmetrical, dude.
So when you see those designs, right, they look like skeleton keys with F's drawn off them in different shapes, right? Well, let's suppose this. Let's say every time somebody gets a picture of a UFO, nobody planned a minute before that they were going to see one. It's kind of like Bigfoot. Pictures are always taken under duress, in a hurry. Nobody planned on seeing something. It's like, oh, shit, there it is. Take a picture, right? What if you went out into that dark desert in New Mexico where you're 50 miles from the nearest town and you took track lighting for like a 2-mile area and laid out whatever that was on that Led Zeppelin album, whatever, pick your design, whichever one wasn't proven to be a hoax, that seemed to be real, right? And you laid that design out and lit it up, okay? Now all of a sudden, you can see that if you're actually looking at the earth like in an overwatch type position and you're able to monitor the earth out of curiosity or for whatever reason, and all of a sudden you see something that you recognize. If you're the one who put it there, you obviously understand what it means, right? You might come in closer to take a look. What the hell are they doing? You surround that thing in that desert with stereo cameras and all the different shit you need to get a planned image, or you're flying aircraft around that area ready to photo it. Light it up. One of two things would happen. Either the government's going to show up before you hit the power switch and turn it on, and they're going to say you're not going to do that, which in my mind would prove that they do exist and the government knows, or they're going to let you do it.
But they've released.
But here's the problem with it. It's the language thing. We look at those pictures of those crop circles. Do you know what they mean? I don't know what they mean.
No.
Do they mean hello? Do they mean, hey, we're interested in you? Yeah, or do they mean, do you want to go to war? Is that what it means? I mean, I don't want to light the damn thing up if it means, do you want to go to war, right? I'm a little leery about hitting the power switch now.
I doubt they would ask us that question.
Well, I'm just saying, not understanding the communication. Look at how long it would take to develop an understanding of it. So, for everybody who's on the woo train of, hey, aliens, they know how we think, they can disguise it. Look, that's all that's too many fucking Matrix shows and shit you've been watching, right?
No, I'm more.
What it comes down to is what Moog said, the progression. Something that happened in 47, it probably takes 50 years in that technology time frame to get to where it would be useful, or we could reproduce it or find a useful use for it. But this day and age, if Roswell happened all over, I'd say probably 6 months after something crashed, we could recreate the same fucking thing and be flying it ourselves. If there's a resource that can power it.
I don't think so. I think technology wise, I just don't think so. And I kind of fall back on the Bob Lazar theory of things, which you know, take him for what he is, dude. He said we had no idea.
I believe the guy. I believe him.
Yeah. So if you believe Bob Lazar, Bob said we have no idea how this works. But it comes down to this one thing that at the time in the early 90s
wasn't discovered.
They had to determine was element 115 on the periodic table, right? And that's huge because element 115 was discovered in the early 2000s through a collider. And just for a brief moment, element 115 was discovered. And it's determined element 15 is real. It does not exist in our solar system because the conditions weren't right to create that element out of.
That's why I believe
how things work in the universe, right? And so basically, Lazar said element 15 was the catalyst for how this thing worked. So there was no replication of it. You could only use it in these aircraft that were recovered or whatever. The mechanisms were there. There's no way to replicate that.
And anti-gravity.
Element 115. And basically what he said it did is create its own gravitational field, which would make you Superman. Literally. Like you're invincible to bullets. You are freaking, you could fly from 0 to a million, in seconds, because you're manipulating gravity in your own gravitational field.
Yes.
So the theory of it is solid as hell. No scientist could even disagree if you could that that's what would happen. And so now you have, and that explains everything that we are observing in aircraft, that military jets, F-15Es, man, are like following these things, full afterburner, and they just disappear out of the HUD. And no human could ever sustain that unless they had their own gravitational field around them.
There would be an inertia dampening system.
Yeah. So that it kills inertia. It literally changes time and space. And so no, you cannot reverse engineer something like that. Like you can't, a spaceship crash on Earth, and if all that stuff's in play and it involves elements that we don't have in our solar system.
Reverse engineering is simply based on physical presence. Okay, reverse engineering is simply taking something apart.
Well, that's what
and having it and trying to develop an understanding of what purpose each little component serves in order for it to do what it supposedly does. Right. The problem is it comes with no intellectual thought, no intellectual input or understanding. The intellectual property that was used to develop the system, you don't have the privilege of having any access to when you reverse engineer something. So you might have an understanding of how it goes together and maybe even what it's used to accomplish, but how it does, or the resources that have to exist environmentally for it to operate, all you have is the assumption that it either works or doesn't work here, right? Humans need oxygen to breathe. Plants need carbon dioxide to breathe. An alien might need something completely different to breathe. I mean, we don't know that. The only thing we understand as humans is that every living thing needs water. So that by definition has been the platform of our exploration. If a planet has water, then maybe something living could be there, right? That's the only A to B connection we've ever had. If there's water on Mars, oh, well, then something living could be there. If there's water, could there be water there? Sure. Well, then there could be something living there. That's the only thing. You don't know what it breathes. You don't know how the cells in a body works. You don't know what they require to work. Same thing with anything that would be made that's a piece of metal or plastic or whatever.
I mean, dude, it's so
far, or an element we don't have.
That's why it's saying it's so far out of our scope.
Look at even the rudimentary.
They didn't get here on jet fuel, like
the rudimentary designs we have here. Silver conducts electricity better than any metal, and plastic doesn't conduct it at all, right? We understand that, right? Somebody who wasn't from here and had no idea about electricity, trying to understand how electricity works, they don't get that it doesn't work through plastic, but it does through metal, and through metal, it's silver that conducts best. We've innovated that. We've figured it out along the way. When you have something that's taken from somewhere else, you don't get that understanding of how those things work and how they don't work,
Oh yeah, no. Again, it's above our heads, That's why I used the Bob Lazar example. Whether it be true or not, I think it's a good example of probably kind of how that would hash out. It's like, we don't know how it works. We can't reverse engineer it at all. We don't even have the stuff we need to reverse engineer it. But we can make these things work because they're here,
Richie said that NASA proved that Mars has water.
Yes, Mars has water on it, frozen water.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me either.
Which, until you see something walking around or crawling around, is basically Mars is, millions of years earlier than the Earth in its development, and that we probably had water with nothing but tiny little living organisms in it at one point before everything else took off beyond that. Now, I understand that's not biblical, but, Mars, if it has water, you could say it has that means it could support life, but what kind of life that is, it could be nothing beyond maybe some little cells or, little microorganisms in the water.
Yeah.
Jimbo,
the same thing, Jimbo.
As far as conductivity goes, it's silver, then copper, then gold. Yes, copper is more conductive than gold.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Well, Jimbo had a question.
Everybody talks about ripping apart cell phones and old TVs because of the little bit of gold in them. It's actually silver that's in those. There is that's what drove the silver prices up. Silver used to be $3 an ounce. Now it's what, 30 or something like. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so those, something like, if I remember correctly, it was like 900 tons of silver was used or 90 tons maybe. It was used like in a 2-decade period of TVs and cell phones and shit. And that's what made it a scarce again. It made
the prices go up. It became very useful for our small electronic handheld devices. And I mean, that's where we're at, obviously.
And where are we going? That's the question.
Yeah. Straight
on that note, I know where I'm going. I'm going somewhere else.
I'm going down to make a drink and then relax and go to bed.
It's been 2 hours and almost 45 minutes. Damn.
Oh, thank you for having me, brother.
So much for an early show.
Yeah, Ben. Hey, good to talk to you, Ben. Good to meet you. And
you too, man. You too.
Good, interesting questions, man. Like,
thank you, man.
Ben's always got good questions.
I can see that.
Appreciate that.
If it gets quiet longer than 30 seconds, Ben's going to ask a question. I love that about him.
It's probably Bigfoot related too.
I try.
But yeah, guys. Thank you
You
guys.
guys take care.
I enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
y'all
Thank you,
take
Jeff.
care.
Talk to you soon,
Me too.
Jeff. And I mean soon.
Yep.
Hey, Mogs, if you still got my number, text me, bro.
Yeah, I gotta look. I changed phones. My last one broke, and it didn't seem like the fucking contacts like transferred when I switched out like the.
Yeah, that's what happened to me too.
So, yeah, but you got my email.
Okay, I do.
Monster Mogan, hook me up. Hit me up there.
Monster Mogi on the what?
Gmail.com.
All right, cool. I'm gonna hit you up. Well, man, I appreciate it. I had a good time.
No, I'm glad you came on, man. Always welcome.
Appreciate meeting you, Pat.
Man. Yeah, good meeting you too, man.
All right.
And thanks for having me on tonight, Moggs. I
All right,
appreciate
man.
it, brother.
Oops, I didn't mean to. Well, I guess I did.
Hey, all right. I'm out too.
Talk to you soon, Pat. Have a good night, man.
Yeah, you too, my friend.
All right. Bye. Wow. That was interesting night, to say the least. It was a little all over the place, but it usually is. Again, I don't think that talking about a government, or when you mention the word government, you're talking politics. When you talk about a politician and decides, and I think you're talking politics. Sorry if you guys, didn't enjoy some of it. I get it. I sat there kind of twiddling my thumbs as well at times, but hey. Yeah. So yeah, sorry we went so late. Hope you guys have an amazing night, and I will see you next Tuesday. The new time, 9:00. And I hope everybody had a good time. If you did, really, hit the like button below, show some love. What else? If you're new to the channel and you want to subscribe, please do, and share and hit that notification button so you know when we're going live. Also, if you want to donate to the channel, you can do so through PayPal. My PayPal link will be in the link below, in the description below, as well as on the page in the banner above. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for coming out. We had a good turnout tonight. Better than I thought when I realized that there was other channels on. It was a great turnout tonight. So makes me feel like I made the right decision in coming on earlier. And I already know I made the right decision. But yeah, guys, I'll talk to you all soon. I'll see you probably somewhere else after this. Someone's probably live. If not, I'll see you in the chats. All right, guys. Love you. Peace and God bless.